Didn't have my mic on. Hold on. Hey, all. Sorry about that. It was a family call. Had to take it. Always take a family call. I appreciate you guys giving me a second. All that in and out uh, was my. Oh man, the wind is picking up nicely. It feels good, but because the last 2 days I had 104 temperature. And I was like, oh, this has got to break. And then I just got out of the shower, like a cool. So yeah, I'm good now. I should take my temperature, but I'm drinking cold water. So yeah, I had like 104 temperature. I got this shot at noon. I did a really short show Friday night. I think some of you guys might have seen that. And then I was unconscious for the whole like I woke up every like 4 or 5 hours and I was up for like 40 minutes, a half hour feeling miserable. Yeah. It's amazing. What your mind comes up with, right? I could not help thinking about anything but like racial fairness in this weird haze that I was in. I was like, why doesn't it work out? How would you fix it? Da 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 da. Now, when I came, well, I came out of it like early, like I guess about. I've been up since about 4. And I took my temperature, and it was down to 102, 100. Now I was like, oh, this is good. And then I checked it again, and it was up slightly. Then I checked it again, and it was down to 99. Hold on. All right. Let's take our temperature right now. It's getting a little chilly. I may need a hat. All right. I can feel the sweat So when you feel this comfortable, the last thing you want to do is not be all right, hold on. Oh my God, I'm dying of thirst. I haven't had a meal since about Thursday night. I was sort of hungry, ordered it, put it on the counter. It sat there for 4 hours, sucking in the fridge. Uh, got up the next day, started running, got the shot, wiped me out. Haven't eaten since Thursday. And I'm gonna say Thursday at about noon, right? Because I was hungry at about 5 or 6. So I haven't eaten about Thursday about noon. Now we're gonna take our temperature. See? Da, 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 da. Let's see. All right. 95. Pretty freaking good. All right. It's lower than it should be. It's should be 98. Let's try that again. It could be because I just had a cold drink, which I shouldn't have had. Hmm. Hmm. It shut off. I knew something was weird. All right. We're gonna try it again because we should always take your temperature twice. Here we go. Hmm. 97.2. All right, I'll take it. Down 7 degrees from yesterday, which is good. Uh get your booster shot. That booster shot kicked my ass. So yesterday was a short show. No, actually, yesterday was a non-existent show. We didn't have a show yesterday. Uh, this show probably won't last much longer because I got to tell you, I'm beginning to think it was a bad idea. Ugh, I'm tired and I'm sort of scatterbrained. I don't really. I know. I mean, what we do every day here is not is doesn't seem to be happening, right? How you guys like my bathrobe, my Emperor Palpatine bathrobe? Hold on, I had to get it because I had a hoodie on it. Look at this thing, right? And look at the sleeves. It's got these ominous dun dun dun, dun right sleeves. Sit here like this. Nice fat hoodie covers your chin. Right? How's that for a screenshot? Me doing this. Oh, so woo, 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 woo. I'm cold. I'm tired. I've got agita about the world around me. Uh, uh, let's see if we can. Let's see. I mean, look. I mean, I'm not even dressed. I'm normally I have pants on. I mean, I'm not even. Look at this. I'm wearing my. Here's another thing. I'm wearing my Thai peasant pants, which I generally like to bum around the house in. But when I do streams, I try and have the only thing I take off on my socks. You guys seeing that, right? But normally I'm just blue jeans, a t-shirt, or a hoodie, right? PJs and a bathrobe, guys. Where's my phone? I just had it. Here it is. So let's see if we can salvage a show for you guys. There really is nothing to talk about but Russia, and that thing is crazy, and no one's doing anything. I mean, what can they do really? I mean, invade Russia, right? Here's the thing: Russia's like, America, you keep doing this, and I'm warning you. And America's like, and America, rightfully so, like they didn't even say it. You cannot tell another nation's army what to fucking do. Otherwise, what is the point of having an army, right? And Ukraine has an army of 100,000 people, but Russia has an army of like 2 million. Um, Russia is a population of about 150 million, I think, right? 125 million. We're a population of about 350, 375 million people. Uh, we're not to be fucked with. Um, their landmass is much bigger, but a lot of their landmass is not usable. Which brings me to project article number 2 of this whole thing, right? Edward Snowden skipped town, took all these secrets to Russia. And when I was like, what the fuck? All these people were like, Edward Snowden, he's telling, I was like, you don't. They seem to cry about the egg carton falling and breaking and being outraged about that versus the explosion of the milk truck, right? So the explosion should be a bit more concerning to people, but it's not. And I don't know why. So the one thing I do like that America has done when Russia was like, you better not help them. You were like, yeah, we're going to be sending anti-aircraft battalions to them immediately for a deal. It's sort of like, I dare you to do something. Yeah, well, we just did something. Now what? Here's the problem, as I see it. Russia, uh, obviously, is a bully, but all of Europe is a giant landmass, with the exception of England, which is an island, right? So they all have 1,000-year issues going back to when they were tribal. Oh man, do I put this here? Okay, going back to when they were tribal, right? Back when nations were only as big as a couple of thousand people. Um, and they're a kleptocracy. They're an open kleptocracy. Our kleptocracy, and it is a kleptocracy, um, is admired. Theirs is not. Uh, and we shouldn't let them, because if they take Ukraine, then they'll take all these other things. And what? Right? Every time you take land, you take the people. You grow your population and your tax base and your ability to recruit more men into your army to send them here. All of the old European, all of the old European, uh, all of the old, all the new European nations, which used to be old Soviet bloc nations, should stand against this. We shouldn't have to do it. We have our own racist idiot problems. Why is a black guy here going over to free up people over there who will come here and attack black people? This country doesn't make any sense. It's about to have its own giant problems. And I think what it does is it it says, hey, look how great we are by helping other people. Even as it says that, it's just murdered an innocent man, and it does so daily. The Pope. By the way, excuse me. Happy Easter Sunday, everybody. It is Easter Sunday. It is the birth of the Lord. A lot of you don't believe that. That's fine. You can go do something else. I believe. I have a very weird religion belief, right? I believe in Jesus, and but I don't believe God is a white guy sitting on a cloud. I don't believe that. Uh, I believe there's an energy that you call God, and it can get in anybody, right? The idea that I was taught as a Christian was Jesus the Christ, right? Jesus Christ. Christ is his title. His name is his moniker is Jesus of Nazareth. That's where he's from. Uh, but his name is, what is Jesus' last name? uh, but his title is Christ. And I was taught you can be you know, Sean the Christ or Bill the Christ or Larry the Christ, right? You won't get called Christ. But the idea of that you can live in your spirituality and you can do some good for other people. You can stand against the bullshit with a full throat, a filled heart, and fully uh, standing erect and pronouncing that these things are right and these things are wrong, and we don't want to be on the wrong. We don't want right. We don't want to be on the wrong side of right. Um, and that's what I was taught. Uh, I have a at this point as I get older, I have less and less patience for Christians who just want to think of the Bible as like a comic book and magical powers and shit. And I'm supposed to listen to them. And my first thing has always been do something magical then if you believe it to be that. Show me the last time something magical like that happened if you believe it to be that. I think you're reading the book wrong. And besides, we know you can read the book wrong because look what all the racists did, right? They read this book and told you, um, they ran and told you all the other, no, you, they told us, the laymen, as they call us, that they had the inside track to this book and the God and your salvation, right? And then you find out that they're doing all this wild stuff. I just got out of the shower. I need a body full of lotion. My legs are an ashy mess. You want to see them? Yeah, I need lotion. Black people have a lot more oil in our skin, and when we wash it away, we look like cornflakes. And it shows up on our dark, beautiful, chocolatey mocha skin, baby, baby. And it is what it is. What are you gonna do? Don't hate. There's a lot of people who hate themselves, and there's a lot of people who should hate themselves because they've let themselves get. I don't want to say disgusting, but they let themselves get all loose and ridiculous, right? I've said it on this podcast before. Birds fly, fish swim, humans run, right? It's the thing that we're supposed to do, and nobody can run. What? Nobody can run? Um, when you get old, the same thing. People, all these look. If you have an injury, I get it, but most old people can't do anything because they spent their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s doing no physical anything other than walk into their car or walk into their desk. Right? Black people live harsh lives, but generally we live. Well, how can I phrase this? When we live longer, we live healthier, right? And people may disagree with this, but when we do, we live healthier because we're always working. I mean, in this place versus the people who get comfortable, have all the stuff, and then they get old after years of sitting around. Their their system is not their system is not. Do I want to say strong? I don't know. It's hard to describe, right? But yeah, I think that's a lot of it. My dad is, oh god, how old is dad? Dad is 90. His arms are still like this. Right? That dude is formidable. Um, but because he lived a life of working, like coming home, needing a shower, stressed out, needing to take a nap, versus going to the office, sitting at a desk, and then coming back for 30 years, right? All these people need nurses. Maybe you wouldn't need a nurse if you actually did stuff, right? And I'm not saying I'm like jogging, running, walking, get out in the world, go hiking, right? You do that just every day, all your life. By the time you're 70, 80, you have a strong system, even as you're not doing anything with it. Um, and a lot of people don't have a strong system because they haven't done anything with the system they got. And the work that they should be doing, they didn't do. They had somebody else do it. Uh, it is what it is, what it is, isn't it? Um, yeah. So Easter. My goodness, I have I took a shower. I'm all came my I did everything but brush my teeth. I am a mess. Let's take our temperature again. I'm sitting in this. You know what? I should close this window. This window, the breeze is nice. 97. All right, that's good. We'll take it. Uh, it's better than this time yesterday when it was 102 and climbing. And I was like, huh, when did you call? When did you go to the doctor for a fever? I didn't even remember. I was like, all right, well, I'm tired. I'll sit down and I'll watch. I was too tired to sit down and watch TV. I was too tired. Sitting up like this was a chore and it sort of hurt. Then I laid down. It hurt my lower back. Then I laid down and it hurt my lower back. So I flipped to this side and that whole. And then yeah, it was a very weird, uh, a very weird thing. But it's funny. I went flipping through some of my old podcasts, which the show with no name, right? And I've been podcasting. I've started podcasting weekly last year, 5 days, 6 days a week last year. But before that, I was podcasting since 2017, 2018. And I was looking at some of those and I'm like, huh, there's a lot of my content that I should sort of review. But I was surprised that I had been podcasting since about 2017, which makes this year uh, my fifth year podcasting, 6 year podcasting, uh, if you want to call it a podcast. And I was like, huh, I'm not just kind of, I feel like I've been doing it and not taking this, just kind of fun. And then I look up and I'm like, huh, I've got a lot of content and a lot of years under this. Maybe I should, maybe I should, maybe I should make it a little more official or something. Uh yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. So delirious in my fevered state, I shaved off my goatee. Huh? I don't even know what to tell you, man. Uh it is it is crazy. Uh I wanted to cover the shooting of you want to cover that now? We can do that now. I wanted to cover the shooting of I forgot his name. The cop shot him in the head. Uh and this is my wheelhouse. So let's do a little discussing of it. So, and here's the thing: he's a refugee, and the refugee blacks they're not black; they're Africans from Africa. Look, listen, there are black people, and then the African Americans, right? And then there are African immigrants or black British people who are here, or don't. This society wants you to throw us all into a pot. They're all black, and then listen to the ones that they like, right? You control this. You're all black now. You control what this. I'm connected to slaves and slavery and boats. I don't want to hear from any of these people from other places with their fake American accents. And that's going to come back to haunt you too. Everybody can do an American accent. There's a lot of white people here doing American accents, right? And they're not all in Hollywood. So we're gonna have to figure this out because when it comes to the chaos that's coming, the first people they're gonna target is us. America is in an amazingly racist place, and your president who says there's no racism, his approval rating is 33%. So black people, you voted for him. It's been a year and a half, not even, right? And his approval rate is in the toilet. And when this whole thing was going on, and I was like, "What is wrong with you?" I got all the hate, all the but I was right. So if I keep being right, shouldn't I be the one you come to for the advice since I keep pegging it right? No, right? You would think that, but no. And this is the problem, right? We're a we're a leaderless people, and we're awash. Not awash. We're adrift, and we need to fix this shit. And people coming here from Africa, like the places and races, those people are fucking stupid. But they also come here knowing I will happily sell out those people here already. The surprising reason people have affairs. You know why people have affairs? Disloyalty, right? That's why. Arrogance and disloyalty. Stop trying to make it a fucking Hallmark story. Be loyal to the person you're with. That's it. Or leave and go get another person to be loyal to. We live in a society with no loyalties, and there is your problem. No one, it seems, wants to be any of the shit in the books, right? All your heroes are armies that wiped out the Indians and raped and stole everything from black people and all this kind of shit. And then went out into the world and only ever sided with white Europeans who didn't even side with each other, right? As you can see now with Russia and the Ukraine. And the Ukraine, like I said, like a month ago when this whole thing happened, they were like, oh, Ukraine, Ukraine, Slava this, Slava that. And I was like, this shit has not gotten off the ground yet, people. It's been a month. And wow, they're doing some grand work over there, but this shit is not over. And now what happened this week? They're just launching rockets at them from like 500 miles away and landing on their city. So what will the West, let me slide here so I'm in frame. What will the West do about it? But they always do. They arm them for a price. War is good business. All the people selling shit that at Raytheon and McDonnell Douglas and all these fucking places, their kids never fight these wars. You never know who their kids saw. They're sitting on yachts, right? But they'll hold you up to ridicule and exposure. Uh, so you don't look at them. I don't know, man. Okay, where is this guy who got shot by the cop? I don't know if it's a genocide they're talking about. I mean, if the whole of Russia was Muslim, Jews, blacks, Indians, whatever, and Russia was all of the opposite who hated them and came in like this, I would say genocide. But I don't think this is a genocide. I just think this is arrogance of giant nations who know that no one look Russia, Finland and Norway. I just realized this have been tiptoeing around Russia since like the 1920s because they share a long border and they don't want any drama, right? And it's like Russia is let's say Russia is America. It's like Finland would be California, right, against all of America. Or and the Ukraine is a smaller state, right? The Ukraine would be like what is a small American state? It's got to be on the East Coast where all the states are small. So the Ukraine would have to be something like Delaware or Rhode Island against the rest of the country. Um, it's and what you're gonna do? You're gonna go over there and Pittsburgh mass shooting sees two killed at an Airbnb party. Here's the thing. I don't know if these were black people, but I think they were black people. And black, look, stop saying I hate the cops. So the shitty people in our own community can run through here violent and arrogant and stupid as fuck, doing all this evil, wiping out lives. You think no one misses these people? And then you make it harder to go, the place is unfair. The cops are unfair. Hand them over. Why are you protecting them? Having said that, you can't trust the cops. We in the black community know it. So you're gonna have to figure out something to do because you can't have these people running around killing your sons because they didn't get hugs, and you can't just keep doing whatever the cops want you to do since they're a fucking shit show to begin with. They openly murder people. And by the way, the racists are the judges, the cops, and the ABA. The ABA never goes, this is outrageous. We're pulling his license to operate. He's obviously a racist. Or we rank him as a racist, but he's got a right to practice. No, there's nothing ever wrong with any of these lawyers who put people in jail for 30 years. And when you do get out, you manage to get out through some innocence project. The judge gives you this. bullshit. You should be able to run roughshod and crazy over these people. It's 30 years. But let's remember, after 30 years, what are you, 60, 70? You're not running roughshod through shit. So all you young people who are innocent who don't want to do 30 years, what do I tell you? What do you tell me? Frank James, suspect in Brooklyn shootings, they didn't give him bail. Yeah, black people never get bail. One and two, I think he did this because he's homeless, right? And he's 70 something. And like I said, he didn't shoot anybody in the chest or in the head. He got a lot of hip and leg wounds, which tells me he didn't want to really kill anybody. But at the same time, shooting people in the leg, you'll hit a bone, which is shatter an artery, and people will bleed out, right? And you will kill them just as well as if you lop their head off. Dead is dead, right? How you get dead may be interesting for your bio, but dead is dead. So he shot all these people um, in no critical places, but being shot in your body is a critical place. Um, and in jail, you know what you get? You get health care, you get dental, you get 3 meals, right? He's not going to get raped. Look at him, right? He's sort of a big sloppy fucking doofus. He'll spend the rest of his life, which is likely 25 years, right, in jail versus 300 that he's going to get. And like I said, they'll slam the door and we'll forget about him. But the question nobody wants to answer is, why did he do this? Why did he do this? Huh? Why did he do it? Why did he do it? Black people are unhappy, and I told you nobody marches anymore, and more you'll see more and more of this type of shit. And the media does not want to go, oh, the black people have had it with us, because other people will be like, oh, I mean, oh, well, I've had it with that dude too, and I'm going to do X, right? I don't want to say it inspires, but it opens up the market for that to be a viable response to some of this bullshit in this country, other than marching, which no one does anymore, other than praying, going to church, which no one does anymore. But they're still killing people. I can't find this story. Look. I maintain we don't need these Europeans here. We have enough men and women in this country to make more men and women. We have a diverse population to make more of every type of person in the world. Why we and we only take them from rich white countries, right? Why are we taking Russians? They're not political dissidents. They just want to fucking ball here, like all their oligarchs, buying hockey teams in England and America, living in Beverly Hills and Upper West Side and in London proper, so they don't have to be under their own regime. You should send them all back and confiscate everything they have and let them talk to. Look, we have issues with our own oligarchs here. All right. So we haven't had anybody to chat. We're about to wrap this up. I think we've done a half an hour. What time is it? Yeah. Well, yeah, we've done about a half an hour. Cha cha da cha. Uh, I want to thank everybody because I got to tell you, I didn't think I was gonna die or anything, but man, this booster put me on my ass. It really did. I mean, oh my god, I I can't even explain to you. I can't really even explain to you uh, the feeling of it. Really, I had a headache and everything was sore, but not so super sore to be ridiculous, right? But I definitely felt like I read the story about COVID. Um, I just read this. He went missing 3 years ago. Deputies found him shivering outside a gas station several hundred miles away. Uh, 3 years ago, he managed to eat and live, right? And now you found him. It's crazy. Uh, I don't know, man. It's this the environment is weird to me, and it's I don't understand why it's not. Well, I understand why it never gets better, but my position now is we shouldn't tolerate it. Fuck you. Call me whatever. You're the bad guy. We shouldn't tolerate it. America's for Europeans or these Canadians here becoming millionaires. It doesn't make any sense. English princes living here, all these pro black people live in opulence away from all the black people that they claim to represent. America's a giant lie. The Pope, oh, don't even start. The Pope always has something to say, but he never fucking does anything. He's sitting on a ton of money that he could use to help people, and he doesn't because it's not about the religion. I don't think it's about the money. It's about the things and the stuff and the power. You could still have a Catholic church, but with better people leading it. You could. You could still have an America with better, but no, the cabal had the they're cartels, and they're in all these groups. And remember that thing with the Pope and the Pope's banker where they killed this guy, hung him over a bridge, right? He was a Pope's banker, but he was also in with the mafia. And that's what happens. You can't get the mafia out of your system over there. So why do you think uh, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Iraq, Afghanistan are going to be able to get the fucking terrorists out of their system? Why do you think we're going to be able to get the racists out of our system? When they show up, you destroy them, and we don't do that here. Where is this? He said the F word on Sesame Street. Okay, kids hear it, but you shouldn't do it there. Let me tell you something. Putin preparing to use nuclear weapons. Who said that? His daughter. Look, Putin is. I'm here telling you, Putin is not gonna. What the hell is that? Putin is not. What is that? Oh, I know what that is. Putin is not gonna use a nuclear weapon. Uh, that ends him in Russia, and there are people around him. I'm pretty sure maybe he's got a couple of people, but the last time the Russians wanted to fire a nuclear weapon on a submarine, one lone guy wouldn't pull his thing, right? And then they went back to the port and they arrested the dude. And then when it came out, the dude was, we should look him up because I'm pretty sure we want to look up the guy who got shot in the head too, but we also want to look the guy who prevented a nuclear war. Let's read about him. Russian submariner who prevented nuclear war. Vasily Alexandropov Arkhipov. We should all know his name, and we don't. Right? There's a couple of Russians that we should all know their names because they did great things for the world. Stop acting like Russia, in and of itself, their men haven't done uh, fairly spectacular shit. We do fairly spectacular shit too, but it's uh, it's rare that we laud our enemies. And I don't think you have to go, Russia is great, but you should go, Vasily Androvich Arkhipov is a great man, right? Because he was like, what? Right? So let's see what August 1990, he died at 72. Soviet Union, Soviet Navy. He was ranked vice admiral. Good job. All right, so let's read early. Arkhipov was born into a peasant family in the town of Starava Kupavnia near Moscow. Oh boy, wow. Whew. Arkhipov. I try and get people's names right. Nobody wants to have their names mangled. You should try. And I learned this when I had this friend Pete, but his real name, he was an Asian guy, and his real name, it turns out he was also fucking a gang member. Uh, but his real name was I got something just flashed through my head about this guy Peter who was a gang member. Anyway, I tried to remember his name because he was Asian. I was like, yeah, if your parents called you that, we should call you Peter because he was like people have a hard time with it. And I was like, oh, you know. And then, but that ended squirrely. But you know, it was 40 years ago. Who gives a fuck? Involvement with the Cuban deputy commander and therefore executive officer of the new with all effect, the crew was unable to make contact with Moscow with no backup system. Captain Nicholas ordered the 7 members of the engineering to come up with a solution to avoid nuclear meltdown. This required the men to work in high radiation levels for extended periods. They eventually came up with a secondary cooling system and were able to prevent a reactor. Although they were able to save themselves from a nuclear meltdown, the entire crew, including Arkhipov, were irradiated. All members of the engineering crew and their divisional officers died within a month due to high levels of radiation they were exposed to. Over the course of 2 years, 15 more sailors died from the after effects. Wow. Yeah. On October 27, 1960, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, a group of 11 United States Navy destroyers and aircraft carriers, USS Randolph, located the diesel-powered nuclear-armed Foxtrot class submarine B-59 near Cuba. The B-59 was one of the 4 Foxtrot submarines sent by the USSR to the area around Cuba. Despite being in international waters, the United States Navy started dropping signal depth charges, explosives intended to force the submarine to come to the surface for identification. Look, international waters or not, you're not going to stand off my shores with a nuclear weapon hidden. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. So, yeah. So let's finish this. The board, U.S. Federal, there's been no contact between Navy dropping pseudo explosive to identify the submarine to come to the surface. There had been no contact from Moscow for a number of days, and although the submarine crew had earlier been picking up U.S. civilian radio broadcasts, once B-59 began attempting to hide from U.S. Navy pursuers, it was too deep to monitor any radio traffic. Those on board did not know whether war had broken out or not. The captain of the submarine, Valentine Grigorovich Savitsky, Valentin Grigorovich Savitsky, decided that a war might already have started and wanted to launch a nuclear torpedo. I'm just assuming there's a war, so let's launch this bitch. Unlike the other submarines in the flotilla, 3 officers on board the B-59 agreed to unanimously to authorize a nuclear launch. Captain Savitsky, the political officer, Semenovich Mazlinikov, and the chief of staff of the flotilla and all right, let's read this because me trying to pronounce his names have got me a little screwy. All right. The captain of the submarine, Valentine Grigorovich, decided that war might already had started and wanted to launch a nuclear torpedo. Unlike the other submarines of the flotilla, what does that mean? Unlike the other 3, this means the other 3 didn't come to this conclusion. Unlike the other 3 officers on board Beef, unlike the other submarines in the flotilla, 3 officers on board the B-59 had agreed unanimously to. So apparently, this conversation was going on the other 3 flotillas too. And one guy was like, "Yeah, let's launch," and the other 2, like one of the two guys, was like, "No." So it wasn't. You had to be unanimous. So it wasn't unanimous on the other 3 flotillas. On this flotilla, it was completely unanimous. So how did Arkov stop it? 3 officers agreed unanimously to authorize a nuclear launch. Captain Savitsky, the political officer, Ivan Semenich, they're not telling us who the political. Hold on, wait. They're giving us 2 names in a title, and this is where I'm lost because they're saying 3 people: Captain Savitsky, the captain, the political officer Ivan Semenovich, and the chief of staff of the flotilla. but the chief of staff of the flotilla doesn't have a name. That's what's throwing me off. Unless the chief of staff of the flotilla is Arkhipov, right? So typically, Soviet submarine armed with special weapons only require the captain to get authorization from the political officer to launch a nuclear torpedo. But due to Arkhipov's position as chief of staff, okay, so B-59's captain also was required to gain his approval. An argument broke out with only Arkhipov against the launch. So they had 3 men. You only need 3, right? With the specialty of needing one more, right? The political officer, which means he knows the doctrine of the Soviet nation, which means like I don't want you to be secretly a Democrat or secretly a whatever, right? So he's essentially a politician soldier, right? So the 3 were like, yeah, let's launch this thing. And he was like, no. And that is crazy. So only require the captain to get authorization from political officers to launch a nuclear torpedo. But due to Archipov's position as chief of staff, as chief of staff, B-59 captain was also required to gain his approval. An argument broke out with only Arkhipov against the launch. Even though Arkhipov was second in command of the submarine, because right, you're under the captain, but in this regard, with special weapons, you're the final authority. So the captain can say what he do, which makes sense. It's his ship, as what I know about the military, right? But some stuff with this, it's like a nuclear weapon over the captain's head, right? I wonder what the Americans have to do to launch a nuclear weapon. I'm pretty sure it's like 4 people have to like. We don't have political officers. We just have military people. Your political leaning, you hold to your own, right? That's the American way. I don't have to tell you my political leanings, uh, or I could tell you everything I want about everything you want to hear about my political leanings. An argument broke out with Arkhipov against the launch. Even though Arkhipov was second in command of the submarine B-59, he was in fact chief of staff to the submarine flotilla, right? So he was second in command on the ship, but or the whole flotilla, all 4 ships, he was the second in command of that, right? So, and the first in command may have had his own ship, right? But he wasn't on their boat and they had no way to contact anybody. So if he goes no, then it's no. The officer on board agreed unanimously to authorize Arkhipov against the launch. Even though Arkhipov was second in command of the submarine B-59, he was in fact chief of staff of the chief. No, hold it. He was not second in command. He was the chief of staff. So he was second in command on the submarine, but he was the chief of the flotilla, chief of staff. Uh, um, of the submarine flotilla, right? According to Edward Wilson, the reputation Arkhipov had gained from his courageous conduct in the previous years, K-19 incident also helped him prevail. Arkhipov eventually persuaded Savitsky to service and await orders from Moscow. This may have effectively averted a nuclear war, which probably would have ensued if the nuclear weapon had been fired. Yeah, they're at Cuba and they're launching a war. That nuclear weapon would have been on Florida in like 3 minutes, on New York in like 8. Yeah. So once that happens, I fully expect in 10 to 15 minutes, somebody, not even 10 to 15, I fully expect, boom, we lost all contact with so and so. And mind you, they were being followed. So people that saw they launched something, and they would have told New York, right? And in 3 minutes, XYZ city is gone. And that would have been it for Moscow. And I'm sure Moscow would have been like, what has happened? Who launched the fucking nuclear weapon? We've got missiles coming down on us here in Moscow. What do they call those guys? The director Politburo? No, the Politburo is their Senate. What do they call those guys? Premier. Don't they call them premier? Right? So they would have been like, this guy, I mean, he convinced him to surface and get, and I'm pretty sure they were like, we were going through fire and nuclear. Moscow was like, what? The fuck is wrong with you? Right? And this also goes when he goes back. Yeah, we that whole nuclear. Yeah, we don't feel good about it. We don't feel good about your judgment. The last thing you should do, but Russia's fucking around with arrogantly threatening everybody with nuclear war. The first thing I would do as president is put nuclear submarines on their shores about 30 miles out from the international waters and have them sit there and have them like eight of them, have them pop up occasionally to get further orders. Nuclear Armageddon because oh, all right. Even though Arkhipov was second in command of the submarine, he was in fact chief of staff, including B4, B36, and B130. According to so he was the chief of staff of like four ships. According to Edward Wilson, the reputation Ark had gained from his courageous conduct and that nuclear meltdown thing we talked about helped him prevail. Arkhipov eventually persuaded Savitsky to surface and await orders from Moscow. This may have effectively averted a nuclear war, but probably would have ensued if the nuclear weapon had been fired. The submarine batteries had run very low, and the air conditioning had failed, causing extreme heat and high levels of carbon dioxide inside the submarine. They were forced to surface amid the American pursuers and return to the Soviet Union as a result. So they rose because it was going bad on that. Look, everything we're gonna die anyway. That's what I feel. We're gonna die anyway. The battery's gone. We're gonna die of da da da. And the Americans are chasing us. Why don't we just launch? Because fuck them. And he was like, no. This is one of those live to fight another day moments, man. This is not well, fuck it. It's the end of the world. And I think it's the end of the world for Putin, right? So he's trying to. It's not the end of the world for Moscow. It's the end of the world for Putin. Um, Aftermath. Immediately upon the return to Russia, many crew members were faced with disgrace from their superiors. One admiral told them, "It would have been better if you had gone down with your ship." Of course, you know who says that? Stupid people who sit at desk, right? One admiral told them it would have been better if you had gone down with your ship. Olga, Olga, Archipov's wife, even said he didn't like talking about it. He felt they hadn't appreciated what they had gone through. Each captain was required to present a report of the events during the mission of during the mission to Marshal. Oh, they call him Marshal. Marshal Anton. Marshal Antonovich Grechko was a Soviet general, marshal of the Soviet Union, and minister of defense. All right, so I don't know what the marshal of the Soviet Union and minister of defense means. I don't know what that means. Um, I don't know what that means. So I don't know what a marshal is, but so the minister of defense is like the chief of defense. Our defense department head, like the Joint Chiefs of Chaff, the senior member, the senior member, the what do you call it? The Joint Chiefs of Chaff? The Joint Chiefs of Staff's senior member. Oh, good. I should know this anyway, but I don't know what a marshal is. Who substituted the ills? Who okay? Let's start at the beginning of this sentence. Each captain was required to present a report of the events during the mission to Marshal Andrei Grechko, who substituted for the ill Soviet defense minister. Oh, that's why. So he was marshal, but he was sitting in for the defense minister. All right, that's why he had this name. Because the defense minister sounds like a political post, and the marshal sounds like the highest military post. And he had both of these. Grechko was infuriated with the crew's failure to follow the strict order of secrecy after finding out they had been discovered by the Americans. One officer even noted Grechko's reaction, saying that he, upon learning that it was a diesel submarine that went to Cuba, removed his glasses and hit them against the table in fury, breaking them into small pieces and abruptly leaving the room after that. Upon learning that it was the diesel submarine that went to Cuba, removed his hold it. Wait, why was he mad about Greco was infuriated with the crew's failure to follow the strict orders of secrecy after finding out they had been discovered by the Americans. Okay, that's not this makes it sound like he was mad that they sent the diesel. And left him. In 2002, retired Commander Vadim Pavlovich Orlov, a participant in the event, held a press conference revealing the submarines were armed with nuclear torpedoes and that Arkhipov was the reason those devices had not been fired. Allah presented the events less dramatically, saying that Captain Savitsky lost his temper but eventually calmed down. Robert McNamara, U.S. Secretary of Defense at the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis, stated in 2002 that we came very close to nuclear war, closer than we knew at the time. Right? That implied that the Americans didn't know. Right? Closer than we knew at the time. Schlesinger Jr., an advisor to John F. Kennedy administration, and a historian, continued the thought by stating, "This was not only the most dangerous moment of the Cold War; it was the most dangerous moment in human history." That guy's a fucking hero, right? If you're for peace, you should have this dude's picture on your wall next to Dr. King and Gandhi, right? Um, Millions of people are alive because of him. I mean, this this would have gotten a stupid body count. I may print this out and stick him on my wall, right? Just to remember what people are doing when I'm sitting up here picking my nose and smoking weed and being well, I don't drink anymore. But I don't drink anymore. Do I not drink anymore? We're gonna hold out. And yeah, we did have a drink at the wedding 2 weeks ago, but we're gonna hold out. Maybe we'll drink this summer. Who knows? I don't want to say I'm not a drinker because once I'm not a drinker, I feel like I have to hold to not being a drinker. But I haven't had a drink since December 10th or so. Um, Later life and death. Arkhipov continued in the Soviet Navy service, commanding submarines and later submarine squadrons. He was promoted to Rear Admiral in 1975 and became head of the Kirov Naval Academy. Arkhipov was promoted to Vice Admiral in 1981 and retired in the mid 1980s. He subsequently settled in Kupovnya, which was incorporated to the Russian Zhelezhnodorozhny, Zelezhnodorozhny, Moscow Oblast. Oblast is a Russian city. It's like the Chinese use prefectures, right? Um, and I think the British may use provinces or right. So, but and we use states and a neighborhood in America is called a neighborhood, right? Where he died on 19th of August 1998. The radiation which Arkwright had been exposed to may have contributed to his kidney cancer. Excuse me. Like many others who served with him in K-19 accident. Nikola Vladimirovich, ugh, Nikola Vladimirovich Zatyev, the commander of the submarine, K-19 at the time of its onboard nuclear accident, died on August 28th, 1998. When did he die? He died August 99th, and he died August 28th. Okay, about 20 days apart. Um, Both Arkhipov and Zaitayev were 72 at the time of their deaths. Dude is a fucking hero. He really is. Uh, Personal life, Arkhipov was married to Olga Arkhipov until his death. That's the way it's supposed to be. They had a daughter named Yelena. Arkhipov was known to be a shy and humble man. God bless him. In 2012, PBS documentary titled "The Man Who Saved the World." Excuse me, that is an appropriate title. The Man Who Saved the World. All right, I guess apparently we're doing a whole show with no people in the comment section. That's fine. Apparently we've got 50 minutes left. We can end it here in an hour. Um, but we're not finished with the story. So we're likely end it in 5 minutes. Arkhipov is known to be a shy and humble man. In a 2012 PBS documentary titled "The Man Who Saved the World," that is the truest statement anybody has ever put to paper. His wife described him as an intelligent, polite, and very calm. Much of what Arkhipov was known to be a shy and humble man. In 2012, PBS documentary titled "The Man Who Saved the..." Oh, I read the same. It is much of what is known about his personality came from her. According to her, he enjoyed searching for newspapers during their vacation and tried to stay up to date with modern world as much as possible. In this same interview, Olga alluded to her husband's possible superstitious beliefs as well. She recalled walking in on Vasily burning a bundle of their love letters inside their house, claiming that keeping the letters would mean bad luck. In popular culture, the character of Captain Mikhail Polin, portrayed by Liam Neeson in the 2002 film K-19, The Widowmaker, was closely based on Arkhipov tenure on the Soviet submarine K-19. In a fictional but similar plot, Denzel Washington character in Crimson Tide was an officer who refused to affirm the launch of a submarine captain. Leon Ogden portrayed this character in Secrets of the Dead, season 12, the man who saved the world. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's just telling us all these people who played this part. So yeah, he's obviously held in high regard, and the story is obviously a dramatic and crazy story. So the media, film people, right? They love it. Let's take our temperature. Whew. 98.7. Do I want to say? Do I want to say that I have adjusted and integrated the COVID vaccine into my system? Do I want to say that? You know, I'm old too. So they were telling me, yeah, you're over 50. You need to get a COVID. I was like, God dang it. Um, a COVID booster, and I just got one. I was like, how many am I behind? They were like, four. I was like, I got to get four of these boosters? The fuck? So now I got to come back in 4 months to get a booster. I'm not doing that. Well, I may do that. I don't know. Good Lord. I mean, like the song says, who wants to live forever? There's a lot of stuff I'm not for. I'm not for these dick pills that make your dick hard. You have a window, right? I'm not for a lot of this body shit that people do to themselves. Look, if you're in a fire and there's cosmetic surgery that can help you, I'm for that. But just because you don't like your face, get over yourself. Yeah, the society lends itself to a weak philosophy so it can control people. And when your philosophy is good and strong, it attacks you. All right. Um, in recognition of his action on board the B-59, Arcpar received the first Future of Life Award, which was presented posthumously to his family in 2017. Offered by the offered by the Future of Life Institute, the Future of Life. This award recognizes exceptional measures often performed despite personal risk and without obvious reward to safeguard the collective future of humanity. Wow. The award recognizes exceptional measures often performed despite personal risk and without obvious reward to safeguard the collective of the. That has to be one guy every 15, 20 years. Who does that? Wow. Amazing. Let's get his name. Vasily Arkhipov. Vasily Arkhipov. Vasily Arkhipov. God bless you, Vasily. He died at 72. Got to be an admiral. He's a handsome young gentleman too. Yeah, hero. Who's the other Russian guy? Um, Yuri Gagarin, who was the first guy in space. Everybody who loves science and space should have a picture of him on their wall, right? Just like all the Russian people who love science and space should have a picture of Neil Armstrong on the wall, right? He's a great man, Vasily Arkhipov. He saved the world. He prevented a nuclear war. Hey, William, he prevented a nuclear Armageddon. And now here we are. Happy Easter, William. Happy Easter to you and your fam, man. I hope this day finds you. I hope this day blesses you with whatever blessings you want, whether that's a winning lottery ticket or no issues from your car to your favorite lunch, however small or however grand it is. I'm wishing you well on this Easter, man. We were just talking about Vasily Arkhipov, the man who saved the world the last time the Russians wanted to launch a nuclear weapon right off the coast of Cuba at America. Uh, Dude was a hero. Yeah, a world hero. He should be right up there with all the great world heroes, despite how your world sees. the nation that he's from, right? So I'm not saying love um who's the guy who's bashed his feet on the who bashed his shoe on the UN dais. I forgot his name. Anyway, he was another one of these Russian leaders. Right? I'm not saying I like politics, so I have him on my wall. I'm not saying that, but yeah, he stopped the nuclear launch. He saved the world. He literally saved the world because we would have fired, and that would have been it. And I'm sure the Russians were like, "What just happened? One of our submarines just fired on the Americans. What? We have incoming. They got no choice but to fire back, right? Unless you're going. But why would you call them going? But did you just fire a nuclear weapon? Florida's gone. Why did you do that? You're not going to do that. You're going to open up on them. It's not going to be like in the movies. Well, you hit us with one nuclear weapon. We'll hit you with one nuclear weapon, and then we'll stop. It'd be like, you just ruined yourself. Click. The Americans are not picking up the phone. We've got 50 incoming missiles of their, how many nuclear weapons do we have? 7,000, 10,000. We'll absolutely annihilate them. It's just the wildest thing. Vasily Arkhipov, Russian naval vice admiral and world hero. Really. There are people now get to be stupid with their fuckery because he prevented his captain from launching a nuclear weapon in 1960 63. I should have checked the date. 63. All right, so yeah, so to get a recap, my temperature is down. Want to take it one more time? We just took it. I thought it's gonna be up. My my system is I think slightly getting back to normal. My 103, 104 temperature. I should have went to the doctor when it hit 104 because your brain begins to cook and all your proteins begin to melt. And I was like, it's only been 104 for like 12 hours. I'm pretty sure I'm fine. It'll probably go down tomorrow. Then I went back to sleep. um, man, I slept in like a long sleeve shirt, a hoodie, uh, with where is it? I don't have my hat here. With a hat on, with the hood over it, tied around me, tied in a bow. And then when I got up, I was cold, and I put this whole thing on top of that. So this thing is crazy. This like get vaccinated against it. You know, err on the side of caution, even if you don't believe. If you got grandbabies, you want to see them grow up. Don't be an arrogant asshat, right? You want to see whoever they are grow into fine people. Then you have to take steps to make sure that you're here for that. So get your shot, get your booster. I still wear a mask, oddly enough. Uh, I gotta tell you, man, that shot hurt my arm, and then at noon, and by 6, I think I had a weird little show. I don't even remember it. Friday night. I didn't have one Saturday night, and here I am. Saturday night, I was a mess. It's some this, and now there's two variants cruising around New York. Um, at this point, it's been 2.5 years. I'm beginning to think you might have to let it run. Right. This might be one of those scenarios where we're all wildebeest trying to cross a river, and the COVID is alligators. Some people are going to get it. Some people are going to get out with scars and bit tails and broke legs, and there'll be food for something else later. But other people will just get done in and swept under by the alligator that is COVID, right? But the majority of us will get through. I think maybe that's what's going on here versus what looks to be going on here, which is trying to save everybody from COVID, which I don't think you can do. Um, why am I rocking back and forth? This is what I do when I'm thinking about shit. Okay. I don't like to do it on stream because it makes me look crazy. Uh, but yeah, it helps me think if I rock back and forth, right? If I stand up, when I'm standing up and thinking, I do this. This like a pendulum. Oh my god, mentally ill is what I am. All right, so We've got 4 minutes. We actually managed to do a full and complete show. Is that awesome? I have guitar work to do because I suck. I've decided now to start working on more arpeggio. It has been 10 months. Um, I actually have, I realized the thing that I'm bad at is strumming. Oh, my guitar's in the other room. My acoustic, it's strumming. Well, I can use this one. We're not gonna cut it on. Ooh. So, so, right. Um, there's one and two, hold it, one and two and three and four, right? And also, I gotta get a new guitar because every time I hit this, hold on. Let's see if we can dim the lights a little bit. Uh, oop, come on, come on, come on, come on. Every time I hit this toggle, it'll be here. Normally on this guitar, this whole system is further back by like an inch, and this is lowered down by like an inch. So you don't hit shit when you strum. For this to be, I have to strum way up here. But that's not what we're talking about, right? So it's supposed to be one, two, three, four, two, two, three, four, three, two, right? Uh, I got that down. That's the easy part. But then there's this one and two and three and four and one and two, right? Got that down. The ands are ups. But then it comes down to one and two, or one and two and three and four and one and two and three and four and one and two and three and four, right? So all these one and two and three and four and one, right? You sort of some of the one. How can I phrase this? So that the whole you catch the rhythm of it, right? One two three four, one two three four, one three four, two four, two four, two four, right? All these kind of weird, kind of like jump in and out are what's causing me problems. So I'm gonna take a break from strumming because I'm bad at it. I think I have a rhythm issue, and I'm gonna try and start doing more uh, arpeggio work because my fingers are slow anyway. So I figure I'd be good with arpeggio shit if I do this correctly by my year anniversary, which is anybody remember? Anybody? 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 Which is June. Let's tilt this up a little bit. Ugh. So yeah, I mean, again, like I said at the beginning of the pod, normally I'm at least dressed, right? Today, it's me in my Emperor Palpatine bathrobe, which is awesome, right? Uh, nice. I went through this nice sleeves. I really love to sit and watch TV and do this. Actually, I have to hold on. All right, some of this actually. And I love this thing. Paint it. They don't sell these anymore. I'm actually gonna get something else and put over this patch. But I like to cook in here's the problem with cooking in this thing. You will set yourself aflame. So normally I have another thing, and around my back, what I do is I loop it through and tie it, and that just keeps this way up. Uh, but yeah, be interesting, be odd, be weird. I'm out here in my Thai peasant pants because I'm not really trying to do too much. I'm trying to do the show, and I'm not trying to really. Uh, you know what? It's weird. I started the show. I felt a little, but we can do the show at around, I guess, 9. Um, I was a little late because I took a shower and shaved my head, and in the haze of it, I shaved my mustache off because that's how your brain will do you when you're doing 104 fever. But since I started the show between then and now, since about like 9:30, I feel really, really good. And somewhere on the show, I feel like I'm sort of back to my old, which should be good. So I also looked up, like I said in the beginning of the show, let's take our temperature. We've been I've been streaming since I've been streaming since 2018. Mm-hmm. 98.7. All right. So yeah, we're back at it. Why did that take so long? Uh so yeah, we are thinking about switching up the whole deal of this show. Um as we move over to do other things, I was last week was an amazing week. I s- I was part of this conversation with these black dudes talking about what's wrong with Black America, which I really appreciated. Um, I think it's needed, right? A lot of good insight into what I should do myself, just to you know throw my own little weight behind helping out. Uh, But looking at these guys' pods, how professional and up and prepared, I was like, I like to come here, kick it with you, read the paper, right? That's my thing. It's low impact, uh, low risk, high reward, as they say, right? Oh, I didn't know about that. That's interesting. Maybe we can suss it out. When you move over to other things, other people can come in. One guy had a call in, which would be awesome, but they're all on bigger platforms, right? And the platform that I'm restreaming to, that's to Twitch and YouTube, is mm, is a platform. But what I think happens with Twitch and YouTube is they might be playing games with the algorithm, so other people that they don't officially approve of don't get any love, right? That that's fine. Uh, we've long since learned that the internet is not fair and it can be manipulated. Uh, so it is what it is, what it is, isn't it? And that's what it is. That's all that it is. Uh, but yeah, I think as we grow the channel, because apparently, like I said, I'm going to be doing this forever. And then when I looked up, I can't say high. I wasn't high. I was just loopy from a fever. And I was looking at, oh wow, look at these old shows from 2018. Um, then I realized, wow, I've got a lot of streams, not just on the apps. They're all over the place. I need to consolidate. But it's funny, right? It's it's weird how weird I am. I should have better control of this shit. But I sprinkle them like breadcrumbs and forget about them. Whereas other people treat it like they're writing a novel and and they're nicely placed in a bookshelf and each right. There's room for that, I guess. But as I said, I watched them and I was like, man, I really need to kind of like up my game and be like them. Uh, but maybe I should just be like me, right? Be yourself. I'll take what I can from them, pick and choose as I see fit. Maybe I can't use some of their style and stuff, but this is my style. My style is to kick it with you, like we're at a bar having a beer together, right? Or at a cafe having a coffee together, right? Or at whatever having a whatever together. Uh, so remember that, yo. There's a lot of talk about nuclear this, nuclear that, nuclear this. This is to get, I think, this is to get you Americans, we Americans, super afraid and excised, and oh my God, they are the worst. So when the government goes, we've decided to do this totally ridiculous thing, everybody's like, oh yeah, because they were going to use nuclear weapons. Like, this. You're being told this by people who always have a fucking bullshit reason, and it's always money generally. Um, of what's going on here. I think Vladimir Putin is trying to scare people off by going, "Ooh, I nuke you." That shouldn't scare anybody off. His people don't want to get nuked, right? I mean, he's really just a goofy old fucker. He shouldn't be in power, and I think people are really beginning to get that on his side of the pond. Um, but like I said, he may take the he thinks NATO is weak. He thinks the European Union is weak, and so far he's been right. Why wouldn't you take it? If I knew I could walk in and take Idaho, right? I'd be in my car driving to Idaho. One guy can take Idaho with a paperclip and a lighter, and I'm one of millions of people driving into Idaho to do it, right? It's amazing. It's amazing how bad this seems because his his I think it's his red line, but fuck his red line. I don't think Russians know Americans as well as they think, and their whole show is not good. It's no bueno. We've got a giant army because not only do we tax our citizens, which we have more citizens than they do, less land mass, right? All our land mass is essentially is usable. Theirs is all frozen, not all of it, but a good chunk of it is frozen. Um, and on top of that, we have an industry that is fucking ridiculous. No one is rushing to buy anything from Russia other than caviar and vodka. Nobody wants their cars are shit. Nobody wants their medicines are bullshit. Bullshit, 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 right? Nobody, I mean, the only thing they ever do is steal technology from the West, right? They're forever playing catch up. And the last thing they want to do is set off a war with America. I think we'll take our lumps, but I think we will end them. And I think they know it. I think they know it. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, men and women, spoons and forks, thermometers, and what is the opposite of a thermometer? Thermometers take your temperature. Barometer. Okay, thermometers and barometers. We will wait. Barometers is moisture in the air. All right. Anyway, I'm not even going to bother myself with trying to be clever. I'm tired. I'm gonna go and go get a fruit plate. Uh, and I think I'm out of milk because I should quit coffee now that I'm out of milk. There's a lot of shit that you're quitting. I used to have this thing: quit all the bad shit, take up some good shit. But now I seem to be quitting a lot of stuff. I don't really need coffee. All right. We'll see. I think I'm still a little loopy. We'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself, William. We are out. The show. Oh, well, the show was a little late by like 10 minutes, but this I think is the honest, actual, uh, full on full show. And now we're 15 minutes, man. Should we make this an hour show? We should just make it 2 40-minute shows. I know it doesn't make any sense. Uh, we'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself. Be good. It's Easter Sunday. Go out and at least treat yourself to one nice thing. One nice thing: a lollipop, an ice cream cone, a nice dinner, a Reuben sandwich. Mm, uh, a Reuben sandwich. Thing about Reuben sandwiches, this is they give you so much meat. I can't eat all that meat on my Reuben, so I take like half of it off and I eat whatever, and then I get the rest to go. And I go home, and a day or two later, I make another Reuben sandwich with like what I have here, with the exception of the radish and the horseradish and the right. But yeah, it's what. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for coming up here. I know I am not for everybody, but I'm glad that you cruised through and I may be for you. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Get your booster shot and watch out because man, that COVID shot put his whole entire foot in my ass. I was out for like from noon. Well, actually not from noon. From about what time did we end the show? Six about from seven. From about I began to feel loopy at around 5, and I just thought it was like oh, I'm always tired at 5, right? But I think from about 7 to about 4 this morning. And that for this morning, I had a 100-degree temperature, and it's been slowly dropping since then. But since about 4 this morning, so that's 7 p.m. 7 p.m. That's 24 hours. Wait, Friday, Saturday, today's Sunday. Yeah, 24 hours, um, give or take 12. Not give or take, plus 12, 24, 34, 38 hours. Yeah, 38 hours of feeling like you were gonna die. Uh, and like I said before I go, I read this thing about this woman. We can read it again right here before we go. We'll leave you with this. It's a cautionary tale, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Where is it? This woman, it's a sad story. Britain's oldest Facebook user at 106. Oh, really? Is he using Facebook or is someone? All right, nah, never mind. Where is this thing about this woman? It's so it's sad. We're just gonna skim it. The oldest known gorilla in the world just turned 65. Okay, that's good to know that they can live that long. All these true crime people. Where is this thing? All right. Um, it's well, okay. So essentially, the story is this woman was going to get a COVID shot, was going to get a COVID shot, um, and she put it off and put it off and put it off, and then on her birthday, she was going to go get somewhere around like a couple of days or a week after her birthday. Two killed after a car tries to beat a train at a crossing in Houston. We're gonna check that out, but first, I want to know what they were driving. Don't let me forget. Where is this story about this woman? Anyway, we're not gonna be able to find it, are we? Uh, she. Anyway, she was supposed to get it, and she didn't. She put it off. She put it off, and then she got COVID, and she's in the hospital, and her only way out is a double lung transplant. Here's the thing about double lung transplants. Uh, Tupac famously shot in the lungs, needed a lung transplant. Um, got one. We can look up the average how they take. It look, if you need something, it's better that you get a heart than a lung. Heart heart transplants work a lot. I would say 80% they work. Lung transplants, I think I like 20%. They might be lower than that. What up, Brian? Good to see you. Yeah. Uh so let's look up the incidence of lung transplant. How successful is a lung? How successful are lung transplants? On average, we perform 24 lung transplants per survival rate of 85% for 1 year, 84% for 3 years. Really? Oh no, this is someone saying that. I don't believe you. Uh News. If I look up news, double lung transplant saved Chicago man with terminal cancer. Yeah, it works sometimes, but so here's the story I was talking about. Uh let's just cruise through this really quickly. Robe robe on clean cut. Are you going to as well yeah uh yeah, check out the shirt too. This is the gear that I bum around the crib in. So normally I look better than this, right? But check out the shirt. uh this is my old running shirt. Yeah. All right. So let's read about this woman. 250 days in county waiting on a new lung after COVID. Just over 10% of lung transplants performed in the last year have been COVID related. Prior to COVID, most of these transplants were needed because of chronic disease like cancer, smoking illness, emphysema, right? Chronic illnesses. Uh, what's up with the lady in the duffel bag? True window. Wait, what lady in the duffel bag? True. What's up with the lady in the duffel bag? That makes it seem like I should look behind me because the lady I have in the duffel bag have got out of the sub basement torture room or some shit. Um, we're gonna look that up. We always go long, but her thing is, I mean, there's no indication yet when Jackson 50 was able to go home. She's waiting on a pair of lungs. Hers were irreversibly scarred when she was sickened by COVID-19 last July. So here is Marie Jackson, the housewife. She needs a double lung transplant. I mean, this thing is serious. People just take it seriously. You don't want to get a COVID shot, fine. But no, like I say, if you have grandbabies and you want to see them get married and grow up, you should go. You should go get your COVID and your COVID booster. If you're a young dude who's like, I'm healthy as a horse and fuckity fuck it, I feel that. But if you were smart and looking to tomorrow, I would still get it because there's always new variants. And I would just tell people that I didn't. It's none of their fucking, it's from your medical history. It's none of their business. So if all your friends are like, fuck that COVID shot, I'd be like, yeah, fuck that COVID shot as I went and got one. Right. Lung transplant. I mean, whew. uh, the other condition called pulmonary fibrosis, the often COVID patient have some degree of lung damage, but who never needed hospitalization. A lot of people think, here's the thing. A lot of people think when you get COVID, it sits in your lungs, right? Your lung, it sits like everything else sits at high, your bronchial shit, right? You can and cough it up and get it out. Uh, it sits deep in your lungs, and that's your problem. Not only all the mucus, but all the scarring. So, like, if your lungs were, if your lungs were a garden, right? You had two gardens that you planted shit on. Um, the weeds come and destroy the soil. So you can't get rid of the weeds and plant something else in it. Once the weeds are in your flower bed, you can't use that soil. And we're humans. We can't go get new lungs unless someone, you know, don't need theirs. And if they don't need their lungs, you know what happened to them? Pretty good. Good Lord, is this gonna knock this over? Ugh. So yeah, take it into account. Oh boy. And there are multiple COVID variants. It's just goofy. And this woman is 54 now. She needs 53, and now she needs two lungs because she kept putting off going. Where's her story where she kept putting it off? No indication, 50B, blah, 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 but it's not permanent. Such technology, you can't go home. As a furry more than 10, blah, 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 da, 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 they need the lungs, COVID seems, but such as the vast majority hospital strains. Where's her story? This is a lot of writing. I read this and I can't find. Da 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 da. Sherman. Da, 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 where is her story? A person for lung transplant. I mean, they could jump ahead of other people who have been waiting. The vast majority, the vast majority of people currently on the lung transplant waiting list because of COVID are relatively young, between 35 and 64. 64 is relatively young. I'm glad to hear that. Strike me down with all your hate, and your journey toward the dark side will be complete. uh, um, I could tell you the tragic story of Dark Plagueis the Wise. Um, which her story was so crazy. Well, not crazy with new COVID, but come on, man, who doesn't know this? It mean but go home, while COVID down, a go remains in hospitals. Complications. I'm trying to scan this thing for her story. You can't go home on ECMO. You can't even leave the ICU, said Doctor. You become a prisoner of your own health. Huh. Where is her story? All right. Well, anyway, she was like, yeah, well, it was, and she got it on her birthday, right? She got it on her birthday. And now, all these years later, here it is. Uh, it was August 1st, 2021, Jackson's birthday. She's 53, right? Now she's 53. August. So last year she was 52 or so. Jackson's birthday when her breathing became so labored that a voice inside her head told her something is wrong. Freshen up and go to the hospital. That sounds like a black woman would say that. Fresh. I feel bad. Let me get all gussied up and go to the hospital. Right? You going to the hospital? Take a shower. Yeah, nobody wants to touch your dirty butt. Take a shower. But freshen up is that. She tested positive for COVID the previous week. The previous week. So she had it for a week, and then she went to the hospital on her birthday. She tested positive for COVID for I missed that the first time I read this, during the height of the summer surge of the Delta variant. So she wasn't vaccinated during the height of this thing. She planned on getting vaccinated but hadn't done so. Within days, Jackson couldn't stop coughing. She struggled to get enough air into her lungs. Listening to that inner voice, she had her son drive her to the emergency room. It took every inch of power to walk into the main desk to register, Jackson said. She was immediately given supplemental oxygen and was later put on ECMO. ECMO is the lung transplant list. So they knew fairly immediately that her lungs were shot. And COVID wrecked her lungs in a week. A fucking week. You know what I mean? That's crazy. It reminds me of what I said on these Ukrainian sites. I'm like, I say I have not said anymore, but a couple of weeks ago, I was like, wow, they show all the bodies. I was like, wow, just 2 weeks ago, these people were trying to get dates and go to a party and looking up the latest thing and wanting a new cell phone, and now they're dead lying in the street. How fast? And people, and some guy was like, some of these were just this morning. And I was like, yeah, I get that, but people knew that there was a war going on just this morning. Like, you're live. We're all sitting here talking shit now on the internet. What happens in like 2 weeks? All of a sudden, the internet's down and we're at war with Russia or China, or whatever. Right? That's how fast it happens. That's how fast. I was watching Midway. Uh, there's this guy who's got a great YouTube channel. What is it called? History? Is it History Buff? The man who sold the world. Where is it? Make my way home. Where the fuck is it? God damn it. All right, hold on. I gotta go into my watched videos history list. Oh no. Not lost control. Why am I singing this song? All right. Where is it? Where is it? You know, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. When I go to look for something I saw 2 days ago, I have to sift through 300 videos. Right? It is what it is. Can't really complain about it. Where the hell is this thing? What is this guy's name? Oh, here it is. So his name is History Buffs, right? He did this thing on Midway. History Buffs. Maybe I'll put his channel give you a link to his channel because it's good stuff all around. Good stuff. Copy and paste. Paste. But what I was looking at, which got me into this, was Pearl Harbor, right? Cass was just chilling. Everybody was minding their business. Yeah, I'm in the Navy. I may go, but we're not going to war with China or Japan or whatever over there in Europe. We're just chilling here, minding our own business here in sunny, beautiful. I got the best posting. I'm in Hawaii. I'm from Idaho, where we're landlocked and we don't have beaches and it's cold. Better yet, I'm from what's higher up? Montana by the Canadian border, right? So it's cold and it's freezing, a lot of wide open spaces. But now I'm in the Army. I saw the world. Here I am in beautiful Hawaii. And what the fuck is that noise coming over the? What is that? Those our planes, I can't even see what the yeah, you know what I mean? Like that. All of a sudden, bam! What the freaking hooey? We're at war, right? Once you sign that piece of paper, I give you mad respect, right? Because you may not fire a shot at anybody. You may spend the next 4 years slicing potatoes, right? But your first assignment is soldier. You're not a potato slicer, right? There are doctors in the military. Their first assignment is soldier. They have to be a doctor or this or that, but they're a soldier. All those generals, and here's another thing about our generals. Well, with the exception of the new chief of department, the first black guy to run it, he's ginormous, but he's also sort of like right. Our generals always look cut from fucking steel. Even those 60-year-old olds who are about to leave, they don't have guts on them, right? They are crisp and clean in them, right? You look at the North Korean soldiers; they're all fat and chubby and extra. They look like yeah, we're in the military, but we spend all our time at the buffet and we never work out. The Winston Churchill Museum bunker. I've never heard of this. First, hold it. We're gonna get back to this, but first, I want to let's woman in a duffel bag. In a duffel bag? Why was she in a duffel bag? Was she dead? This is sad. Oh no. Body of Orsolia Gall. New York City mom of two found dead in duffel bag near Queens home. Here's your problem. Who wants to kill you, lady? Who wants to fucking kill you? Me? I don't know you. You didn't piss me off. It's always your guy stuffed in a duffel bag. All right, let's read this. Another Russian in America. Police are investigating the body of 51-year-old Orsolia Gall was found stuffed inside a duffel bag in Queens. Police said a man was walking his dog near Metropolitan Avenue in Forest Park Drive. Hey, I know where that is. Just after 8 a.m. Sunday, when he came across the bag, officials arrived. Dog was like, "What is that smell? Smells like a person in bag." Of officers arrived and found Gall's body, GAAL, body inside it. The body has not the body had not started to decompose. This is good. Fresh as fuck. They found her. A lot of these Europeans want to come here and ball out and be European in America, but they can't be European in Europe, right? Um, I'm not feeling a lot of these people. I think, like I said before, we have enough people in America to make more people. We have enough people from all stripes to make more people of all stripes. We need to stop flying foreign flags like we do, and we do, and having all these people come here like we're running a fucking youth hostel, bringing their problems and their racism. And I pointed out on my last show, Thursday, I think, where these three people from Kiev living here in a giant house full of other Kiev people damn near killed this gay guy. The mother, her son, and her husband broke into his house, beat him up, kidnapped him out of his house, took him to another location where they continued to beat him. Blind now, right? He was, yeah. They're all three of them are charged with attempted murder. That fucking gay, that dirty, trashy gay. He gets to be dirty and trashy here. He's American. Who the fuck are you? You just showed up here. And that's the problem with not Americans, excuse me, but white Americans. Somebody come and does a European accent, and people love them. Some come in and just do American accent straight from Europe, and people love them. It's like you're being undercut here, and you're accepting people who will undercut you. You should be wary. But I think we black people have a better view of Europe than I think a lot of our fellow citizens who aren't black, who love to go to Europe and do all this cool European stuff. That's fine, but you know what China does uh, to the fleet in the Asian Pacific. China will send people to high, like not generals, but like high ranking, like lieutenant commanders, captains, right? Going up to getting your own. Oh, hang out. Oh, we'll buy you drinks. Oh, get your boat. And before you know it, you don't even like it's you slipped into corruption. He gave me this. He gave me that. He gave me this. He asked me this. I gave me that. And before you know it, you're like, oh, and people knocking on your door going, you know this guy? He's a fucking What was your interaction with them? You're now suspended and pulled from your assignment. They arrested several, all Asian, uh, because it's the South Pacific, and you look like me, I look like you. Hey, I'm American too. They're not American. All right, I'm a businessman. I'm look, oh, you're American. Hey, we should stick together. And you're American naval commander. That's awesome. I'm a businessman. Hey, come to my shop. Oh, he drinks for free. And and all the girls sitting on your lap, and you running around with these prostitutes that they got you on film with. And before you know it, they're like, hey, all this shit that you just did will end your career and put you in jail, Navy commander. What we want you to do, hey, nobody needs to know. And it's not even treat. Just give us this thing. Anything. If they go, just go into the Pentagon and bring up a paperclip. Just a paperclip. That shows that they own you. You retrieving that paperclip, I don't care if it's a nuclear bomb or a fucking post-it. They both have the same value. Do you understand what I'm saying? So then all of a sudden, the next thing is bigger, and then the next thing is bigger, and then the next thing is bigger. China plays that game there. And you have all these Russians moving into Florida, having babies and moving into Florida. Why are your enemies allowed to move here? You should ask yourself that. Because the first thing they do is they come to go with their American accent, "Oh, the blacks," and somebody goes, "Yeah, the blacks," right? Or the women, and someone goes, "Yeah, the women. I like Bob or Jim or Bill or whatever," because his name isn't Ho or Chin or whatever. All right, This is why there's so many Latinos in the clan now. The guy who owns who runs the Proud Boys is Latino. He's out here talking racial bullshit. He's an idiot. So you know, this is where we're at. You got a lot of people here because they're from authoritarian places and they don't want to get their heads handed to them. So they're here being assholes. My position is this: once you're an asshole, send you back to where you don't want to be. And that's that. Uh the Winston Church, I gotta check that. That's way too extreme. Was white slash black. I may need a little more on this. I mean, I don't want people to be racist, but I'm saying we black people here have to keep our heads on a swivel because we're black people here, right? And me warning you as a white guy here, just going, be wary. Everybody coming from Europe is not your ally. A lot of them have other agendas. And that's what I'm saying. Everybody loves Elon Musk. Elon Musk got here through three countries. He came from South Africa, quite frankly, and then he couldn't move here directly, so he went through Canada, and then through Canada, he came to America. And now he's punking other billionaires. And all the billionaire class are all first generation somebodies, right? What happened to all these Americans? Why don't these Americans have to be first gen, right? The whole thing is just really people come in and take part in your destruction so they can enrich themselves. It is a thing. And then they raise money for foreign places while they're here. I was taught that that is what a fifth columnist is, and you shouldn't allow it. I'm in your country raising money for a foreign country. What? Um, okay, it is what it is. So my whole thing. Oh, and we're not even gonna go into it. But we were right about the bomber and how fast they caught him. We should give ourselves a pat on the back. We said this dude is not long for this world, meaning none of this made any sense. How the whole thing went down didn't sound like a terrorist attack, didn't sound coordinated, sound stupid. And the thing that made me question it was him shooting people. No body wounds, no head wounds, right? Everybody shot in the legs. Everybody shot lower than their privates, right? Except for one guy who got shot in the hip. So he wasn't really trying to kill anybody, even as he's shooting people. Um, and then he got down on the floor to open this explosive kit, which is full of fireworks and smoke bombs, right? And he didn't even light them. Because what you know what you have to do? You have to after bang, 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 you have to put the gun down, grab a lighter, and right. So now you're unarmed and you got all these people around you. That wasn't right. The whole thing just seems stupid to me. And I said he'll be caught by lunch. Was caught by lunch. Was caught by lunch. So that's what we're looking at this. But like, can we see who did it? First of all, something's telling me where's her husband? Oh, someone killed my wife who I loved. Oh, really? Yeah, she had her and he's one of these guys down the street or the mob or I think it was human trafficking. It's like some random woman, human trafficking, your wife, nobody else, around the corner from her house. You don't know her friends. Remember that guy who got killed in Massachusetts by that woman who got killed in Massachusetts, that pregnant woman? by her husband, shot her in the chest 3 times, I think, or shot her in the chest and in the head, something like that. And he was winged. I think he had like a little nip, right? And the cops went out. What was the name of that case? The cops went out and beat up all these black people, killed one in the precinct, and it turned out that he killed his wife. Yeah, everybody has to be on a swivel. You're absolutely right about that, William Bryan, uh, Willie Bennett. Oh, dude, you are fast becoming an encyclopedia for me. Well, there we go. William Bennett. Let's just run through that story. William Bennett. Now I remember this as a young dude. Oh, this is not. No, this is William Bennett, Director of Office of National Drug Policy. That can't be the William Bennett. Why we put William Bennett criminal? Criminal. William Bennett criminal. Hold it. What is this? Leader of a brutal 2009 attack on Loudon couple admits guilt, gets 4 life sentences. Oh, this is another William Bennett. The horrific murder of William Bennett and the near killing of his wife Cynthia as they took on early morning Monday walk on a deserted Loudon community was finally resolved after 7 years. Yeah, you just want to hurt people because nobody gave you hugs. I'm getting really sick of a lot of these black people and what they do and how they pass it off as, well, I was treated poorly, so fuck it. What did these people do to you? You'd be better off building something like a group that takes all the black people away from all these organizations, right? Versus killing some random couple who, for all you know, gives a ton of money to black causes and gay causes and children who are always not just on Sunday, always in church. You know what I mean? You don't know. So yeah, some of these people are just comical with their 1995. All right, so William Bennett criminal, 1995. I don't think I'm crazy. I might be crazy. I mean, am I crazy? United States murder plans with the moral poverty. Where is this story? Michigan Brothers 1995 murder conviction overturned. What is this major? I can't even find the story. William Bennett. Hold it, wait. Willie Bennett. People attitude is why better. Charlie Stewart and wife. Wait, hold it. It's not William, it's Charlie Stewart. Let's look at that. Charlie Stewart and wife. Charlie Stewart. Shoot your pregnant wife. I mean, what the ever loving fuck? Charles Stewart. I've hold on, give me a second. I've got the heat on, but I've also got the windows open. Is this on? Is this good? Yeah, let's cut this off. Sorry about that. All right. Why is there no what's up for hold it? Let's hit this again. All right, you know what? You're gonna be an asshole, then be an asshole. I'm gonna be over here doing this. Stewart. Stewart. The youth is more than ever, more brainwashed, bro. Yeah, I did that woman, right? Is that her? Is that who you're talking about? The black lady? Brian, though he shared a picture of a woman. Is that who you're talking about? Yeah, I subscribed to her channel because I mean, she's not completely fucking wrong here. Um, I think a lot of women, first of all, not all women are honest. Let's be clear, right? Not all guys are honest. Not all women. Some women will abuse the system for their benefit, and I think a lot of that is going on here. So you've got this you've got this group who wants you to get married and buy giant rings and all this in an environment where that shit is dead. That shit is so last millennia. Um, Good lord, where crime? Charles Stewart implicated for staged murder of wife. Here you go. All right. History. This day in history, January 3rd, 1990. Wow, it was that long ago. Charles Stewart implicated for staged murder of his wife. Matthew Stewart met with Boston prosecutors and told them that his close this and tell them that his brother Charles was actually the person responsible for murdering Charles's wife Carol. The killing of Carol Stewart, who was pregnant at the time on October 23rd, 1989, has touched off a national outrage when Charles Stewart told authorities that the couple had been robbed and shot by an African American man while driving through a poor Boston neighborhood. The question then becomes, why are you in this poor Boston neighborhood on this weird ass side street? What are you and your wife doing there? I'm sure she was in the car going, why are we here? Right? Um, in the summer and fall of 1989, both Boston daily newspapers have. Also, there's only two Boston daily newspapers. I wonder what they are. The Boston Globe and what? Is the Boston Globe still even around? A lot of papers went under after the internet became profitable, right? Nobody would buy these newspapers. The old ones stayed in, like what's the old lady, what the gray lady, what do they call the New York Times? Something like that. Ones that's been around for 100 years, but everybody was running the same stupid con, like it was never going to end, and no one really cared about their reader base. And then all of a sudden, their reader base was like, nah, something else, bye. And they were like, how'd you not loyal to us? Because you weren't fucking loyal to us, right? Um, in the summer and fall of 1999, both Boston daily newspapers have been trumpeting a so-called crime explosion, of course. Uh, Actually, the screaming headlines had more to do with desire to sell papers than any actual crime wave. So they were trying to sell papers by having you target a group. That sounds very American to me. Uh, Charles Stewart, a fur salesman, fur, fur was dying then. Used the public mood to his advantage when he planned to murder his wife. My wife's been shot. I've been shot, screamed Stewart into his cell phone. He drove through the Mission area of Boston. Paramedics responded to a call for help, found them both. Charles and wife had been shot. Carol was barely hanging on to her life, and Charles had a fairly serious wound to the stomach. Immediately, Charles identified African American male in a black running suit as the perpetrator. I guess a jogging suit, a black guy in a black jogging suit. When was the last time we wore jogging suits? I think it was 8 years before that with Run DMC, right? Adidas tracksuits, Nike tracksuits. Look, listen, we black folk do not keep the same fashion style for very long. So when him sitting here going tracksuit in 1980 and 1990, I'm like, what were we wearing in 1980? We can go look it up, but I don't think I was wearing tracksuits in 1980s because I was wearing Tims and baggy jeans, right? Anyway, but look at that. Let's continue this. My wife's been shot. My wife's been shot. Paramedics responded. Serious stomach wound. Charles identified a black. Charles identified an African American male in a black running suit as the perpetrator. The crime was the biggest story in Boston that day and even led some national newscasts. Across the country, the story was portrayed as an example of what could happen to affluent people traveling through bad neighborhoods. You mean black neighborhoods. In many papers, liberal policies were attacked and held responsible for the tragedy, of course. There are people in this country who want an authoritarian system. They're not going to say I want to, but they want to be able to fire you if you won't work for $3 a week, right? And if you try and get a union going, they want to have you arrested. We're always fighting against this. Remember, we're not a homogenized society. And what keeps, it's my opinion about this, but what keeps the society nicely separated like this is you have a built-in group that you can blame for everything, right? That obviously does not look like you. If we were all the same shade, then it would have to be race, right? There has to be a way that you can delineate a group of people to make them the villain. So if everybody in the country was white or Asian or fucking hamsters for that matter, then we would have to go, we're hamsters and they're gerbils, right? Or we're Christians and they're Jews, or we're this and they're that. The this people are God people and the that people are the sucky people, right? Thank you. Tribalism. Tribalism. Yeah, why did I think of that? Tribalism. Uh chinchilla, yeah, yeah. The war against the gerbils and the chinchillas. Man, and then there's gonna be a nuclear war. What would be a nuclear war for gerbils? I guess an M80 firework. We will launch our M80 firecrackers. And in the backyard. I don't know. Uh the crime wave was the biggest story in Boston that day, thanks to the media and pushing bullshit. Story portrayed as liberal policies were attacked and held responsible for the tragedy. Carol Stewart died, and although doctors were able to save her baby temporarily, the child also died days later. Charles Stewart underwent intestinal surgery for 10 hours, but his life was not endangered. So it's a disgusting wound, but he was not going to die of it, right? Um, where was she shot? The story doesn't tell us where she was shot. But I think it was the head because you can't have her coming out 6 weeks later going, "Oh, my husband shot me." There's also a famous story of a group on a yacht, and this guy comes back. He's a lone survivor. He's like, "Oh, the horror of the ocean and and I survived, and everyone's died, and no, it's a tragedy." And everybody's like, "You are a hero. God bless you." Like 5 days later, they find a girl on a raft, and she was on this boat, and she said he killed everybody and sank the boat, and she jumped overboard. And then the guy goes missing, and I think they found him dead. That's a story. But this like why you got to do an after no matter what anybody says. Do an act. Look, it's rare, but some people may go, "Oh, it was nothing, and I just did my part." And then you look and you go, "Wow, this guy did more than his part. He saved a whole bunch of people. He's a real hero, and we should acknowledge him for that." Versus the other guy going, "Oh," and do you look into and go, "Oh, this guy's a piece of shit, horrible person." Charles Stewart needed the bag after shooting. TikTok is a major recruit for the weak-minded. I think anything is a major recruit for the weak-minded. Um, Yeah, this is why you're supposed to have friends. So I can go, man, women shouldn't vote. And then Brian, you can go, man, you still believe that stupidness? Let me tell you about that. And I go, oh. And then I'll adjust my thing because my friends, man, maybe. And down the line, I'll change it. But when you show up and go, you're an idiot for believing that, you just make me more intransigent in my belief of this, right? Because now you're also an enemy trying to tell me what I should do versus my friend. Because that's how change comes. Remember, the women got the right to vote because all these women, yeah, they were protesting too, but all these guys in Congress and in the Senate and had all this, they had moms and sisters and wives, and they were like, honey, look, XYZ, XYZ. Yeah, wife, you're right. Or in some other place, it's the mom. Baby, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, mom, I love you. Okay, man, I'll think about right. Your daughters, I mean, and that's like having an in, and that's not what happens with black folk, but it is what happens with women, right? And it's a good thing that women can do whatever. But like there's a side note to that I always say, you know, stop crying. This is not Saudi Arabia. You can drive and drink and do whatever. Why are you always crying about the things you can do? This is America. So I think a lot of women want all the stuff of the modern women, but they also want all that shit from the past women, right? Hold the door for me. Oh, just believe me because I'm the victim of X, Y, or Z, right? One of the things about all these women who are choosing to have babies without fathers, then the pandemic comes around and they're crying that they can't feed their kids. You know who's not doing that? Couples who have kids together, right? You've crippled your hand here. This is a 1,000-mile race, and what you did was cut off 3 toes. Right? Because it was fashionable to get into the cool shoes, and now you're having trouble walking, much less running. I'm for you, but seriously, some of the shit you do, I'm not for. Uh, it's like the gays, right? I tell you about I used to be for the gays, and then the gays became the gays and lesbians. Like, okay, gays, lesbians, and transgenders. I was like, what? Okay, wait. Uh, not transgender. What are the ones of people who dress as ladies but keep all their parts? Oh, they okay. You want to dress like a lady? Well, okay, fine, I guess. And then once they were like, we cut things off, and you have to stand with us. I was like, You all of you lost me now. I because my philosophy is very simple. When we were tribal, walking across the plains, right? Let's say there was 100 people in our tribe. In that 100 people, you're gonna have gay people, right? I get that. You're not gonna have people who cut stuff off of them, right? One is more natural than the other. And if yeah, I just have a problem with it. So they can say what they say, but they can't. The district attorney said Willie Bennett was exculpated. Wait, what? When the district attorney said that Willie Bennett was exculpated, Stewart jumped off Mystic Bridge. Hold it, wait. Exculpated. Does you mean killed? Oh, I looked up Willie Bennett. Willie Bennett was the black victim that the cops killed in the precinct. Dude, seriously. You are on your grind. Um, what does exculpated mean?
I found an answer. It's displayed on your iPhone.
That's not right. All right, so let's go here. Actually, I'll look it up here. Do you want to give this a quick? How many? Oh, there's only two more chapters. Are there? Yeah, there's only two more chapters. Let's hit it fast. Um, 10 hours, but his life was not endangered. The Boston police began to comb the housing projects in Mission Hill. African Americans were men were strip searched on the streets of any strip search on the streets on any pretense. You're strip searching people in the fucking street, and the judges are like, "Yeah, we don't care what you do to the." And this is why I'm like, it's going to come down to killing judges. Stop acting like no one's going to do it because they love you so much. And my position is the Klan is in the courts, so nobody's trying to hear you apologize after putting somebody in jail for 30 years, right? We want absolute change. And if you're not going to give it, I don't see any reason why anybody should tolerate your decisions. Somebody needs to explain to me why. And don't say because it's people always talk about violence is not the answer, but those are generally the people who are doing violence, right? Uh you don't want your kid dead. This guy got shot in the back of the head by a cop in full view of everybody. Another guy got choked out on the street. This is a legal issue. Uh oh, exculpated, not guilty. Exculpate, show or declare that someone is not guilty of a wrongdoing. Ooh, a new word from you guys. You guys get a star. Exculpate. Let's hit this and copy and put over here. Uh no disrespect, but every time I find out something somebody tells me, I have to look it up myself. It's just a weird thing about me. I should be more trusting, right? I should be more trusting. Exculpate.
Exculpate.
Yeah, okay, I pronounced it right. Show or declare that someone is not guilty of wrongdoing. This article exculpated the mayor. What a word. Excul. What is the where is this word from? Exculpate. Verb exculpate, third person present, exculpates, past tense exculpated, past participle exculpated, gerund or pretense participle exculpating. Oh, okay. Another word for exculpate. Yeah. 20 synonyms. All right. Let's get to the part where they killed this guy. So strip search black men under any pretense. Meanwhile, Suit was showing unusual interest in young female co-workers, asking that she phone him at the hospital where he was recovering. Detectives. Oh, so he's recovering from a shot and he's already making moves on this woman at work. Wow. The absence of evidence is evidence of absence. Clearly, I can't choose the wine in front of you. Ugh, never get into a land war in Asia. There was no such uproar. The district attorney had to have news conference to say Willie Bennett was exculpated. There was no such uproar. To comb the housing project in Mission Hill, African Americans were strip searched on the streets at any pretense. Meanwhile, Stewart was showing unusual interest in young female co-workers, a young female co-worker, asking that she phone him at the hospital where he was recovering. Detectives fixated on finding that black perpetrator Stewart had described. Didn't bother to find an ample evidence that Stewart was unhappy in his marriage and particularly upset with his wife for not having an abortion. Wow. Stewart had discussed both his obsession with the coworker. Oh, really? Stewart had discussed both his obsessions with coworkers and his desire to see his wife dead with several friends and family members in the months before the murder. In December, Willie Bennett, an African American ex-con, was arrested after his nephew jokingly bragged that he was responsible. Yeah, you're an idiot, but still, you're supposed to have proof of this and not, but they don't want that. They just want someone to say you did it. And that's what they base all this cruelty on. And when I say they are always who we're talking against. So in this they, we mean the police establishment, the judicial establishment. Um, Stewart picked Bennett out of a lineup in which the others were all clean cut Boston police officers. This was the last straw for Matthew Stewart, who had assisted his brother in carrying out the scheme. His brother helped him murder his wife. Why didn't I remember that? Yeah, because then if he was shot, the gun would have been okay. So oh boy, Matthew thought he was helping Charles with an insurance scam when he carried a bag of money away from the murder scene. In it was a gun and the couple's wallet and jewelry. In return for immunity, Matthew testified against his brother. So he met his. Wait, hold it. How do you get her jewelry? Honey, before we go into this alley, give me all your valuables. No, right? You have to take it off of her shot. And then you put it all in a bag. Then your brother shows up and goes, "What happened? Yeah, just take this and get out of here." And of course, human nature is what it is. You're gonna look in that bag. It's not a locked bag. It's not a box. It's a bag. And you're gonna see his watch, and her earrings, and her gold chain, and her necklace, and her this, and her that, and his wallet, and her purse. Charles Stewart found out that Matthew was going to turn him in and immediately fled. The next morning, Charles Stewart drove to the Tobin Bridge over the Mystic River and jumped to his death. Willie Bennett was released after witnesses told the grand jury that the police had pressured them into identifying him. Wait a minute, he was released? No, I thought somebody died. Didn't someone die in this? Willie Bennett was released? Charles Stewart found out that Matthew was no. The next morning, Charles Stewart drove to Tombray and Mystic River and jumped to his death. Willie Bennett was released after witnesses told a grand jury that the police had pressured them into identifying him. I thought this guy was, maybe it's not him, but wasn't someone killed in the precinct? Charles Stewart murderer, Wikipedia. Suicide. All right. Investigation. The case again collapsed. Possible motives, suicide, memorial fund, and pop culture. Huh. I remember the story wrong. Married him for 4 years and he killed you. Come on, people. I could have sworn the cops killed all right, well, I'm glad to remember it wrong if that's the case. Uh, but I do have to clear out my memory. Who am I remembering that the cops beat a guy to death looking for someone else's murderer? Um, but this woman found in a bag. Just so tragic. Sources told CBS, Police said Gall's 13-year-old son was taken from question and was released. Her 13-year-old son was taken in for questioning? How well 13-year-olds can be fairly fucking big. How big is her 13-year-old son? Is he as slight and small as a lady? And they were like, yeah, he couldn't have done this. Or is he big and formidable? He's 13, but he's like 6 fucking 7. You know what I'm saying? 6'5". Blah, blah. So all these things come to play. Neighbor who saw Gone on Friday seemed to be in good spirits. She was in the garden with the dog and the son, so I heard them talking just regular stuff. Distraught neighbors in the quiet community sat there in mourning. You know what? I don't know what to tell you, ladies. You know, you pick them. If you pick your murderer, I don't know what to tell you. There's a ton of guys out here who will love you forever, but there are also a ton of smart guys who don't trust you. So maybe the guys who don't trust you aren't getting married, but those who trust you do get married, and then are miserable. But those who don't trust to begin with get married and try and ice you out or do other sinister bullshit. Uh, I mean, like I said, I'm from marrying people. My parents have been married for damn well. My father, how old is that? Uh, I think my dad is 90. And they've been married for about 65 years, 70 years. And like I tell people, I was front row seat, courtside at a lot of the great arguments of men and women. I saw how they started, how they played out, and how they resolved. And at the end of it, I saw people who still loved each other. And you need that. And now you don't see any of that. Now everybody's a diva. So why get married? Have as many kids as you want, stay away from me. If you're gonna raise them to be doctors, lawyers, engineers. What are you raising them to be? Fucking ghetto warriors. Ugh, come on, people, get your head right. All right. Ooh, it's 12:35. I guess we're gonna check the chat, and then we're gonna slide to the left, homie. When the district attorney, I could have sworn somebody was dead though. The evidence. I think the guns have. I think the gun he used was from the safe of the first store he worked at. That makes sense. How else would he get a gun, right? Because if you're a white dude, I'm sure he showed up looking spiffy. The first thing I would think of, not a furry, but I think you're a cop, fucking undercover cop trying to get me to sell him a gun. Get the fuck out of here, right? Like one day when I must have been 16. I was walking down the street in the town where I grew up, um, uh, in Queens, New York, and a guy and a girl, white guy, white girl, drives by me in a open top Wrangler, and they slow up, right? They pull past me a little bit, then they slow up. And as I walk by them, they, yo, brother, um, we can get some weed. I was like, no. They was like, man, we not cops, and we'll hook you up to it. I was like, no, I don't know where you can get any weed. One, I didn't know where you could get any weed, and two, who the fuck are you asking me rent? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Um, and there are some stupid people who will be like, oh yeah, let me, and then you're in. They used to also go to high schools and take kids, pay them $5 for lineups, and not tell their parents, and the school will let them take them. And someone had to sue to end that shit. Somebody came home, well, I made $5 today, ma. Well, how you make $5? The cops came, they say, they'll give me $5 if I go into a lineup. What? You know how many kids were picked out of that lineup and had to fight that they weren't the people who did it? No, no, no. He was in school yesterday when this murder happened or this whatever happened. They don't do it anymore. The arrogance of what's been going on here is like next level ridiculous. And I think America should just put every black guy on a stamp because we're not fucking planting bombs all over this place. Because it's 300 years overdue if you really want to know. Uh, and there's always been, a counter protest to this, right? Slave revolt, slave uprisings, trying to stand your ground. They burnt down two towns, one in Florida, one in where was Green? But yeah, but the idea is like we don't care. We are racist. We have the power of the state to do this. So what you need is new people who aren't racist in the government. And that like I said, you, it's hard to get the terrorists out of Iraq and Syria and Afghanistan out of their system. Hard to find them, right? It's hard to get the fucking mafia dipshits out of Italy's whole deal. They've corrupted the church and right. They've got all these guys. Excuse me. It's hard to get the cartels out of Mexico where they're openly bribe, right? And it's hard to get the racism out of America. All of these things are because they're the philosophy of people. Now, you can bring the pain to them. Like when Giuliani was great, and when last time I supported him somewhere in the 80s, he did just that to the mafia in New York. And the mafia was like, "But you're Italian like us, right? How can you do that?" They were like, he was like, "You're pieces of shit who murder and kill and sell drugs, and you're the problem." And no one else would take them on. And he took them on. And he crippled them, quite frankly. They're still around, don't get it wrong, but he crippled them. They were big and ginormous and arrogant, and they weren't when he was done. Um, so I think the society needs to fix itself. And we'll see how that goes, how the society fixes itself. All right. Let's take one more temperature check. Do we want to do that one more time to make sure I'm back? And the next show, I'm actually wearing pants. Now, I will tell you this. I was passed out thinking about this podcast. I was like, we have to do more stuff on it. And I think I'm ready. Hold it. This is not right. All right, here we go. Error. Oh my God. I don't have a. Oh my God. That's not good. Does that mean I'm dead? Oh my God. I'm dead. Ugh, that's the third time this week. Uh, all right, here we go. Hmm. Oh, it went up 99. All right. It was down to 98 point. Now it's up to 99 again. Uh, we'll just keep an eye on it. Maybe we celebrated too fast. I gotta tell you, that booster kicked my ass. I was out for like 36 hours. I felt miserable. Just a glass of bourbon should do the trick, says Brian. I wish, well, not I wish. I stopped drinking in December. So, I mean, I may have a shot here, a shot there. I'm not anti, because I didn't quit because I'm an alcoholic. I just quit because I'm like, I should do other things with my day because my time on this place gets smaller. Since I've been thinking that since my 50th birthday, and I should do something. If I can't do something for everybody, I should do something for myself. So the guitaring and these podcasts are for me. That's why there's no Chiron swinging in. I'm just talking to people. But I might professionalize up that because if I could make this a thing, I would love to make it a thing. Because then it would make money, and I would love to seriously start Boy Scouts, with the S's, man, Boy Scout troops all over the country. When I was a kid, I used to have a lisp, and I taught myself how to not talk with a lisp, right? And the only things I still have problems with are S's, right? So she shows about a she sure, right? Or that's easy. But sometimes the S's transitioning to T to make the tongue all thick and fat, and all of a sudden you're just kind of like, uh, So why do I tell you this? You are never complete. You're perpetually a work in progress. Go work on yourself. You don't have to work on yourself to make someone else happy. What do you want to do with yourself? Right? Maybe it's working out, exercising, maybe it's cooking, maybe it's painting, maybe it's whatever. Maybe it's more reading. It's for you, right? My whole thing is less TV. It's my point. Less people talking at you. Um, where you can't, I mean, this is sort of talking at you, but at least there's some give and take, right? I'm reading the chat versus your news people who tell you all this stuff that you find out later is bullshit. By the way, Joe Biden's approval rating is at 32%. Oh my God. You know how smug I am because I was telling people not to vote for him and how this was a bad deal, right? Um, yeah, I think Trump's gonna run again. I think he's gonna win. I think they're trying to make a way for him not to run. I think they want to indict his kids and go, if you don't run and we won't press you, it's that kind of bullshit. But the criminals here are always the same criminals. Donald Trump is new to the game. He maybe have been a criminal outside, but at least he wasn't a criminal inside. And those guys are criminals inside of government, playing the stock market. Everybody's got $300 million. They sit in Congress like it's an old folks' home. Tired of these people. Absolute, absolute hatred for them. If you're over 70 and you're in Congress, I want you out. That's my opinion. And you keep those who keep sending old ridiculous people back to Congress, you don't deserve shit. And when the next war shows up and you get punked, you'll know why, because you're not serious. We're all supposed your vote is not just your opinion, stupid, right? It's our collective will for what we want to the nation. And they've managed to make it this group versus that group versus this group versus that group here, but they do whatever the fuck they want here and outside. So nothing gets done for the people. That's it. And speaking of which, I looked around for a used bass acoustic. Oh, sorry, bass. I thought you were a fisherman. Bass acoustic. Yeah, I was thinking that too. I didn't know they made bass acoustic basses. You can likely look, man. You can get a my Fender that I bought. I think I bought it for 200. It's not that great a guitar, but it's like it's like a car that they made so everybody can afford and just to get around, right? It's like my acoustic. They're not great because I don't know what I'm doing, right? But now after 11 months, I'm like, huh, all right, I kind of get where I need, and this is the problem with this guitar. I like that. Oh, this needs right. I might take up being a Luther. Just Luthier, 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 someone who fixes and repairs stringed instruments, right? Because I showed you this before on this guitar. This gets caught under the frets, right? So I can show it for you now, right? If I do this, see that? How it's tucked under there? And now I have to pull it out. So every time I'm hitting them hard licks, baby, that throws my whole game off. No, it doesn't really throw my whole game off because I'm not that good. But when that happens, it's sort of I say to myself, right? Oh man. So I was like, I like the guitar. And I can put new pickups on it, so I can get I want to get a D'Angelo white or yellow one. Um, but when I get all the luthier stuff, which is about I guess $80 worth of stuff, I'm a Frankenstein that thing, and that's gonna be fucking awesome. And the acoustic I want is a red, white, and blue one with stars all over it because I do. Um, but I watch a lot of these guys. They have a ton of guitars, and I'm like, I don't really need a ton. I might need two or three, just to sound slightly differently. But after that, I don't know. But I was watching this guy. I was watching uh Pat Schmier play the acoustic bass uh, on MTV Live. Remember that from a million years ago with Kurt Cobain and Dave Grohl. So um, it was good stuff, and I was like, "Ooh, acoustic bass." Because I'm never gonna buy an electric bass, but I could get an acoustic bass. How much are acoustic bass? Let's look up acoustic bass. Let's go to Sweetwater. Do you want to go to Sweetwater or YouTube? It came as some surprise. I thought I died alone. Where is this thing? A long, long time ago. Oh, there you go. Come on, man. Come on, man. All right, so where are we? We want to watch that. Folsom Prison Blues. I don't need to learn that song. Where is this? We never lost control. Oh, good. All right, so exactly what I'm looking for. A commercial for this shit. Sweetwater. Boom. All right. So we go to Sweetwater. We see how much acoustic basses are. Acoustic bass. Huh. All right. 199 at the minimum. Wow. From 199, 599, 269, 899, 279. Yeah, dude, I would buy one of these 199 guitars because you're gonna blow that on weed. Well, you probably don't smoke weed, but you'll blow that on whiskey, right? So it's not out of the frame of what you spend fun money on, right? What I call fun money. Yeah, an acoustic bass. 500, 700, 800. They're more affordable than I thought they were. I wonder if they have D'Angelo guitars. It came as no surprise. Studio guitars, right? Shot by category. And there's another thing. A lot of these like Fender and Gibson, who you can buy a lot of good guitars from smaller outlets who don't have the name. You found one for six, and you didn't buy it. Why didn't you buy it? When I level up, I'm going for the Fender Bassmaster. Okay, well, what does a Fender Bassmaster look like? Let's do this. Copy this. Search Google for Fender Bassmaster. All right, let's go here. Fender Bassmaster Pro. Oh, these are amps. Wait. Is this a guitar? Do they have both of them named Fender Bassmasters? Fender Jazz, Fender Shopping. 5,999 bucks. Yeah. All right. We're gonna take a pause on that. Ooh, what are these? So let's see this. One a long, long time ago. Up. Oh, Lord. Oh, that bass. Oh, that is a nice bass. The chick ain't half bad, but that's a nice bass. Dua Lipa. Okay. What's the other one? The other link. COVID-19. Oy, COVID. Ugh. All right. What is this one? All about the bass. Oh, okay. I know these guys. I'm gonna watch this one later because I was thinking about it. I'm. What's how can I phrase this? Let's you know what? Let's copy this and then close it here and open it over here. Um, my I want to. How can I phrase this? I want to get good at guitar. I do. Um, and I want to learn how to play shit, and then I want to make my own stuff. So I'm always looking at chords and how to play and rhythm, but I'm also always looking at how to do garage band and how to, I haven't done it yet. The cowardliness of me. Uh, but who knows when I may do it. I actually wrote a goofy song last week that I stopped messing with. Where's that thing at? Because Lady was here and she was like, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll call it Mushy. We were talking about love song, and so I wrote this stupid, goofy, repetitive love song. Um, but it's not. It's just me on my phone, jiggada 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 jiggada. And it's not me in my system trying to come up with a bass track and a vocals and da da da. The lyrics are horrible. Watch a lot of people how they write, and then you realize everybody just writes like people write. Right? Some people may do the music first. Some people may do the lyrics first. Some people may do the lyrics and the music first. Some people on the same album may do all three of those. So I mean, it's fun to learn it. But man, a long, long time ago. Let's close this. Go here. Nope. Go here. No. Go here. Okay, we can close this Sweetwater deal. And we can close. Yeah, this is a guy I follow. All my learning has been on YouTube. Right? Maybe I'd be better after 10 months if I had a teacher, but everything at its own pace. What do we got in the chat? Precision electric bass. Okay, player Mustang bass. So are you gonna get it? Are you gonna do this thing, man? Seriously? That'd be awesome. Oh, that color is nice. I like the yellow ones. I like wood tones, but that blue is nice. Black reminds me too hard of country music. I hear the train a coming. It's a coming round the bend. I don't know. I've always liked bright instruments, bright, shiny. Good job. Good job. Yeah. I wish I had advice to give you, but it's bass. I just everything I do. Look, you know what you want to get? You want to get some of these papers and write down all the stuff you can you even see this? Where's the camera? Can you even see this? All the see, this is why this should be a landscape and not a portrait. Ugh. Um, and you just write down the stuff that you can't keep in your head all at once, and before you know it, you're winning a Grammy, right? Not winning a Grammy, you're getting a Grammy. And when I say getting a Grammy, I mean like somebody's Grammy comes over and pinches your cheek and go, "Oh, Brian, I really love that song." And you go, "Hey, I got a Grammy." All right, yeah, definitely, man. That's awesome. Um, I'm trying to put money aside to start a business, a small, like just to tighten up my streaming life, and that might cost me 500 bucks, right? So I'm not really putting it aside. I'm just sort of fucking around, making the place better. Like I was gonna get purple lights in here, right, and start night shows. You guys like purple lights? Everybody on Twitch has a lighting kit. So I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. But those are the young people. I'm not the young people. I'm the old fogey. I'm out here telling you to get off my lawn. How many lights am I supposed to have? Got trash on the floor. It's it is what it is. All right. Yeah, this guy that I listen to, man, his name is Sean Daniel, no S, Daniel, and he's really he's a fucking really good teacher. I mean, he how can I phrase it? He well, everybody's different. I like him. He's good for me. I follow like 5 or 6 guys on YouTube who he drops like every day or every other day. Other people drop once a month. Other people drop a song. They'll teach you how to learn a song in 10 days, like 10 days. They'll teach you. They'll drop every 10 days to teach you how to a song. Um, but he'll teach you how to play this, and then get another track and play your electric here, and then your vocals and how to mix it up. Right? I mean, I don't like his music, but his prowess is great, and his way is good. So he's easy to watch, right? He doesn't come across as hard to watch, and he conveys the information fluidly. He's really a good instructor. So the idea that you can't learn anything on YouTube is bullshit. Maybe you can't learn medicine, right? But you can learn how to play a guitar. You can learn some arts and craft shit. I also watch these guys. This guy built a dam, like it's about that big, right? Let me go back a little. It's about that big, right? So off the ground, it's about that big. So he and it's how can I phrase it? The guy also the guy also built houses, right? But they're like Barbie doll houses, but he builds them with tiny little bricks that he makes in the oven, right? Clay makes out tiny. The bricks are like right, uh, tiny little cables, cement that he puts in like with a tiny little spatula. Sometimes like pass it down with. So it's actual construction techniques. He puts the wood framing up, right? Tiny little wood framing. The lights work, right? Water runs through the place. It had the pool. You're like, he's not just building silly doll houses. He's actually building miniature houses, one scale houses. Another guy was doing it with cars. He built a car like a little metal engine, and and he put gasoline in it with an eyedropper. I was like, there's no reason I'm doing nothing in this fucking house. There's no reason for it. So yeah, man, come join the squad. We're doing stuff. That's what we should be. And nobody's saying do it so you can earn money at it or get rich at it or whatever. But I do think learning music helps your soul. Uh, Being occupied by something else other than TV and news helps your whole psychology. Um, and who knows? You may bump into somebody and she goes, "Hey, I play the whatever," and you'll go, "Hey, I play the this," and then before you know it, you have a partner to play with, right? Um, and vice versa. Hey, you might meet a guy who does this, da, da, da. But at the end of the day, you can't complain if you won't take proactive steps to change the situation, right? It doesn't make any sense complaining about the people who treat you badly to the people who treat you badly because they're making a lot of money at it. And they're not going to not treat you badly, right? America has never done the right thing unless it was forced to. Remember that. Because the fix is in and I'm rich. Why would I stop making hundreds of millions of dollars? Oh, what slavery's? Oh, okay. We're having a war about this. God damn it. You know what I mean? So it's that. Um, the federal government didn't even keep shooting stats until George Floyd was choked out and the whole country was in complete and full uproar when they had to change some shit. And then after that goes down, the same old people are back in play because they didn't get rid of them, right? So this is why I really think that the next stage of this is bad because no one marches anymore, no one believes in God or going to church and doing it. And like I said on another podcast I had last week, all these now there's a ton of not a ton, but down here in Virginia, there's like 5 black militias, armed black militias. And I don't remember there being any moving here in like 2000. When did I move here? Uh, but there weren't any. So it says that there's a seed changer you may not like. And this is the beginning. This is the crawling. This is the before you can, this is the crawling before you can toddle, before you can walk, right? You don't want this to get to the running point because when it begins to run, you possibly have an insurgency group here, like um, what do they call those people in the Middle East? In the middle, not the middle, in Hezbollah, or those like secondary groups behind who stand opposed to the government. And they have a large body of people, and they're so big now that you can't shut them down. They march in the street with flags and shit, all in the same. You don't want that here. But if it is to be here, it should be black people and no one else who's got the longest history here, who've put in, fought all the wars with, along with, right? Versus people who fly in from Singapore, India, and telling you, oh no, racism was a long time ago and da 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 da. And I had nothing to do with it, so fuck those people, right? Those people will get the rest of you people in trouble. And I tell my homie, dude, I'm the closest black friend to you. You might want to listen to what I have to say about some of this stuff and why it's wiggy. Um, and that's what I think it is. I think if you whisper in the wrong ear, not whisper in the wrong ear, if you whisper uh, war you're having you're having uh, war whispered in your ear by the wrong people, that by people who are not aligned for your good graces. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. E-meter guitar methods on Steam. Oh, really? There's a guitar method on Steam? Get the fuck out of here. What? Wait, hold on. Oh, you buy this. What is this? What is this? What is this? Does it teach you? I need a program to teach me um music, right? I need well, here's the thing. You read about it, half note, quarter note, this here. Oh, what? Let me say, that's on the C, and that's okay. That's on the G B. All right. I need to be able to, just like when you're a kid and you go, this is an A, this is a B. Now we're gonna put, and then the very simple, the cat ran down the street. Like I need that to be like, oh, what's that? being okay. So I can hopefully in a year be tight enough with it to play and read it as it runs. And there's a couple of really good um, apps for that that I think I haven't found one yet, but I need one. Don't worry, man. The show's about to end, but we'll hang out till you get back. Or if you're coming back shortly. The show's about to end. Oh my God, it's 1 o'clock. We've been here since about 10:15. It's 1 o'clock. We're going to return you to your Sunday. It is Easter. Please, please, please remember that you are valuable. If no one in this world appreciates you, the kid appreciates you. That's enough to start it, right? That's enough to start. You have one fan. So come on, people. It's Easter. Go out there, get a little sunshine, buy yourself one little treat, and have a moment with you in the not the cosmos, the spirit of the world. If you don't believe in God and Jesus and all that, because I'll tell you the way I talk about it, a lot of Christians will tell you you are not a believer. Yeah, oh, okay. I would tell them the same thing. You believe in science fiction, cartoony bullshit. When the fact of the book is to be a good person and do right by your family, respect your mom and dad, right? Don't rob, don't cheat, don't steal, help your neighbor. That's about what the Bible is. Bible is like that's what I'm concentrating on. What are you concentrating on? You're concentrating on getting these people to be blindly obedient and give you money. Yeah, see where we're at odds here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the weekend, the last day of this weekend. You get another one next week. Hopefully you'll be there for it. Hopefully I'll be there for it. Um, I love that Brian is going to learn to play bass. I like the sound of it. Uh, and you too can pick up an instrument. I'm still looking to. I have a flute around here that I've been looking to find. Right. Um, this music thing is just ridiculous for me. But yeah, it is what it is. If it's not music, it'll be something else that can enrich your life. Only you know what that is. And if you take it up, it won't be pain and horrible because you took it up for yourself, right? It's not like somebody made you take up calculus and learn it in like 10 days or some shit. Where you're like, oh, I hate this. Right? If you take up calculus because you love calculus and you like it, you're interested in it. So do more of it. Some people were good at math in high school, right? Who knows? Maybe it'll reignite a new career for you. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, men and women, I, your man True, who just recovered from a minor COVID fever, and I feel good. Now I'm going to get dressed and get out of my PJs, put on some shoes, uh, and have a meal because I haven't had a meal in like, I think the last time I ate was Thursday night. I ate Thursday night, and then I did this. I had coffee on Friday. Normally in the morning, I have a bowl of fruit, like fruit, pineapple, and grapes, because this whole thing is not moving as fast as I wanted to. So I was like, yeah, okay. I don't eat a lot anyway. So I was like, yeah, grapes will start the engine. If you don't eat, you don't burn anything. But if you have something in your stomach, grapefruit, you'll begin to burn. You'll activate your system and you'll burn off this weight. So I was doing that, but I didn't even do that Friday. And then I took the shot at noon, and then by fucking 6, it was a mess. It was a mess. And then I didn't recover until today. Friday 7, Saturday 7, that's 24 hours. 7-1, that's 24 hours. 12. Yeah. So yeah, man. Get out there. Yeah, that booster shot put me out. I had 104 temperature from about 9 o'clock Friday night until about 4 or 5 this morning. No. I think no, that's wrong. It was 100 this at 4 or 5 this morning, but the fever broke at about 1 or 2 that morning, Sunday morning. Um, yeah, so I feel happy to survive my booster shot, but yeah, this is one of those things that comes through the human animal every occasionally, and you have to be prepared for it. Sadly, the people who are supposed to know what the fuck they're doing don't know what the fuck they're doing. At this point, Fauci just keeps coming back, telling you to do more goofy shit that goes against what he told you to do. Well, Let's just leave it. But yeah, the people who claim to know what they're doing don't know what they're doing. But at the end of the day, you have to make the decision. Please get vaccinated. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. Uh, and if you're older than 50, like I tell people, I'm closer to 50 than I'm to 40, which I've said this all my life, which I'm closer to this than I am to that. Always is my sign to give something up. So um, in my 30s, I was 34. I was like, oh, I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30. I got to stop the smoking, right? Because I'm not going to be doing it when I'm 50, 60, 70. And then I stopped smoking. And then in my 40s, I was like, well, I'm closer to 50 than I am to 40. So I got to stop. What did I give up in my 50s? I don't know. But now I'm like, I've given up. Well, not really given up, but let's just say I've taken a hiatus. But I've always been the guy to take a hiatus. I used to take hiatuses from drinking for like 6 months, right? Because I like back then, I loved to drink and I loved to party, but I never liked to be wasted in the morning, right? So I didn't drink to get wasted. And I didn't deal with blackout drunks. And I'm a happy drunk. I tell jokes. I got stupid anecdotes. I'll play darts with you. I'll shoot pool with you. I've met drunks who were just miserable. Nicest people in the world. You get them drunk, they want to fight everybody. They hate the world. I can't fuck with you. You're a problem. You shouldn't drink. You're a mess. I met women who get drunk and fuck everybody. I have to stop drinking. Yeah, yeah, you do. Yeah, fix your issue. It's not the alcohol. It's something internal. Alcohol may set it off, but you should stop drinking and still fix whatever that issue is in you. Right? What is my weird shit? I don't I'm sure I have weird shit, but it's not around sex or drinking or alcohol or anything. I don't get drunk and fuck everybody. I don't get drunk and fight everybody. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I have a weird thing that everybody can tell you. Sean is weird. He does X. But I'm so close to the machine that I don't know what it is. But here's the way you can find out. People go, man, you should just do X. If somebody keeps telling you the same thing over, if you should do X, you should do X, you should do X, and it's not the same person, it comes from different sources, you might want to consider, oh, I wonder why they say that. I wonder what it is about me. What booster did I get? Okay, there's Johnson and Johnson, and there's Moderna. There was a third one that nobody gets, right? I think I got Moderna. I got the same thing twice. They were like, "Which one do you want?" I was like, "I want you to mix and match. I want the one that I got the last time." And I think they said it was third. It could be Johnson and Johnson. Which one's? I think Johnson and Johnson is the bad one, right? One is you take one shot when you first get it. You take one shot, um, and then you come back 5 days later and you get another shot. The other one was you take one shot and then you come back a month later and you get it. I got the one that you came back a week later because I was like a month, right? So whichever one that was, and I think it was Moderna, that's the one I got. Fi- Dart Pfizer. Wait, is that the no? Wait, Pfizer's the one that nobody uses, right? So I mean I could go find out, but my stuff is in the other room. Whew. All right. Yeah. It's wow. It's 110. All right. Are you vax, William? Uh, if you're not, please do. I appreciate you, man. And if you are, you know, excellent. But if you don't want to say, that's fine too. I still appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow, 6:30, bright and early, 6:30. And I think this week we're really going to try and push into new regions, which is gaming and doing all that shit. So it's going to be fun. And with the Twitch thing, you can put people in the chat who are special people, in a bracket. So every time they come up, you see them. Just in case we get 50 million people, we can always see William or whatever. But I don't think we're going to have 50 million people for at least 3 days, right? I mean, we're great, so it's probably going to take 3 days for. Um, Oh, so you're unvaccinated? All right. Well, look, but you're a young, healthy, strong guy. My whole thing is when it goes bad, it goes bad, like we just said. So that's my concern. It's like you know what I feel like? I feel like it's somebody walking through the woods going, "I don't need a gun. I know this forest, right?" And then yeah, you're under 50. Then they're attacked by you're 41. You don't look anywhere near 41. I had you pegged for like 28, 30. Wow. Um, but yeah, and then now there's 2 variants. So, but I am at this point after doing what I was told for 2.5 years. Now I'm like, maybe this shit should just run its course. Maybe, and I said when the pod first started, these things, not the pod, the pandemic first started, these things come through and they're good to be around for 5 years. And they talk about when they first, oh, we'll be over it by the summer. They said this in January, and I was like, liars, right? And I'm arrogant in saying so because it was on stream when I called them liars. And a year and a half, 2 years later, they're still in power lying to you. Do I want to call it lies? Yeah, I'm gonna call it lies. They're lying to you. Because if I'm not a doctor, and if I know pandemics last for 5 years, what the fuck are you talking about for 6 months, right? And mind you, when they ran up in January 6th, I think like 4 congressmen died of COVID, right? Uh, So what I think what they wanted was you to suffer through all this while they sit on their high perches. Remember in the Middle Ages when the Black Plague came around? The Pope went to his isolated, secluded mansion with his most trusted servants, and so did the king. Left everybody else to fucking die. That's what they're doing to us now. The American citizen should be I'm a cop, and then I get elected, and I'm a cop who's now your senator or your congressman. You're a well digger who runs, and then you so right. But now it's just all lawyers there. So there's not a wide swath of diversity of job type and job like people who had to lift heavy shit have a different idea of what work is and what people need for healthcare than people who never did anything. Man, I want to run for office just so I could fucking beat the fuck out of like the philosophy of the people opposite me because I know it's going to be in pocket bullshit. But I talk like this, so once I go in pocket bullshit, they go, "He's not ready for prime time," which is what they always say. Me talking this shouldn't have anything to do with prime time. Am I right or am I wrong? Right? If I'm out here going, fucking, I can't believe this bullshit and fuck this and you shouldn't be wrongfully arrested and that's bullshit and fuck you, and they go, I don't like his language. You see the way he talks, his language, it's a problem. They're totally missing the point. And if you go, yeah, his language, you are totally missing the point. Because I've always said the unfairness is about the poor. It's not the black you like to, but it's really about the poor, right? It's about stealing from the poor, robbing from the poor, fucking with the poor. And when the poor whites and everybody goes, hey, they go, hey, the blacks. And that's always been what the deal is, right? And if you went, here's the story. This will be the last one before I take off. Let's check the chat before I tell it. Before you want, I keep taking vitamins, eat lots of vegetables. Yeah, that's right there is a what did Hulk Hogan tell us when we were kids? Uh, do your chores and eat your vegetables. Uh, I was surprised to see Paul O'Neill and John Smoltz have not been vaccinated. Okay, first of all, who are those two? Isn't Paul O'Neill the senator? But here's the thing. Oh, not Paul O'Neill, the baseball guy. He's sort of he's got I don't know which one is that. What about the other one? John, right, pitchers, right. Okay. Look, man, pitchers are unique. Knucklehead them. Didn't you guys have what's his name? Who was pitching in the World Series with an injured ankle and there was blood. They were acting like he stormed the Bastille and got injured. What's that guy's name? And he turns out he had all sorts of fucking standard racial issues that the standard American has, right? What was that guy's name? But my concern is more the politician. So if there was a politician who was like, don't get vaccinated," and they found out he got vaccinated, it's his ass. So that's what when you said Paul O'Neill, I was thinking, not Tip O'Neill. Who's a young guy who they wanted to be president and he got out of Congress? The young guy too. That's why they can't broadcast. Good, good. Look, I hate to say it, but thank you, Kurt Schilling. I hate to say it, but your boss shouldn't be able to fuck you over at work, right? But you shouldn't be able to run your boss's business. You know what I'm saying? So your boss should be able to go, you got to work 9 days a week, right? And then you get a half a day off and come back to work. Don't be lazy. Fuck that boss. Sue him, right? And the other word, you can't show up and go, uh, oh, I don't even know what a worker would say. But workers are. I mean, you should be able to go the work make the improve the work environment because you work there. But you shouldn't be able to say something ridiculous like, um, we should have a 4 day work week or we're all gonna strike, right? No, what? No, yeah, no, no. You should be able to do that. Um, and you're in this place where nobody wants to acknowledge what the other person says is either good or noble or right. It's all just fuckery. It really is fuckery. He's gonna call the game from home. Why don't I just show up at his house and sit on his floor and watch him tell the game to me? Oh, but Sean, I'm like, oh, good job. But what? You know, the amount of hoops you jump through, no, it doesn't make any sense. Get vaccinated or get fired. Do I want to say that? At that level where you're paying somebody $5 million? Yeah, get vaccinated or get fired. Um, you're not gonna go hungry and fuck the bullshit. This has been going on too long. People are actually dying. So the millionaires who get the giant slots is one thing, right? The common man is another. Um, I'm thinking about what I said, if that's actually right. If you don't get vaccinated as a millionaire, should you get fired? That seems sort of like I hate millionaires. So okay, yeah, I rescind that. I rescind that. He shouldn't be fired. But it's harder to have sympathy for the millionaires who won't do it. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Let's check your chat. He's gonna have to do it from home. Here's the problem with mandates and freedom of choice. You live under a nation that gives you mandates. You don't just drive because you want to, right? You have to have a driver's license and insurance. That's mandated, right? It's not your choice not to. So we have mandates all the time. We have mandates all the time. Um, yeah, I think a lot of this is goofy. What are other mandates? You have to send your kids to school. And if you don't send them to school, you have to be authorized by a government body official to educate them at home. They can't be in the workplace. Why is your 9-year old working in your candy shop? Oh, it's not the mines, it's my candy. No, still not allowed. Mandates, right? So, I mean, some of these people rely on shaky ground to stand up their argument, and their argument is easily kicked over. We do mandates all the time. And here's another thing about freedom of choice. You can go, I love freedom, but I don't want any black people in my shop. It's my choice. That's not going to stand up either. So your freedom of choice is also limited by shit. Don't blame 38 Studios. I don't know what 38 Studios is. What up, Ted? Happy Easter to you, homie. Yeah, so and don't get me wrong, Brian. For the most part, I'm for you, right? But I also know that we have mandates. We've had mandates. You shouldn't lose your job over it. Religious beliefs, allergies to every narcotic. Um, I think it depends on the job you do if you should lose your job for it. There were doctors who don't want to and EMTs who don't want to get vaccinated. And I'm like, you work around sick people. How can you risk other sick people? No, you should be fired. Right. And I agree. If you're in the office, and you don't want to wear a mask, they should fire you if the office policy is a mask. But if you don't want to get a shot and you wear the mask, you should keep your gig. But if you're a doctor or somebody who works around infirm people and you're like, I don't want to get a shot and I'm not going to wear a mask, and you're working around 80-year-old old people in a home, yeah, you should be fired. There are no absolutes, man. There are no absolutes. Everything is sort of dependent on our history of what we've done before, the society as it is now, and the what's going on the ground in real time. And in real time, it's been 2.5 years. If the vibe is as bad as they say, all hands on deck, regardless of vax or not vax. Agreed, agreed. But if you're going to have all hands on deck, they have to be on deck in a way that we agree that they are, right? So all hands on deck, the vax people over there, the unvax people, okay, but please wear a mask and we're going to knock this thing out, right? You can't go all hands on deck, but then half your deck go, we're going to do whatever the fuck we want. All hands on deck implies we're all working for the same goal in the same direction under a unified and uniformed uh not it's always not one person, but a philosophy. Unified. I was about to say person, but a philosophy. So you don't need a leader, but you can have, you know what I'm saying? Steak and lamb went well for the fam. How are you? Wow, steak and lamb. I'm over here eating beans out of a can. And for dinner, I'm having cat food. Man, Biz is balling out of control over there. Turkey is slowing cooking in the oven. Oh, wow, really? I should probably go cook something. It is, you know what? My sister told me that my sister is having a soiree. So I'm gonna go over there and get a giant plate plus one style Biz and come back here and eat it. I gotta tell you, as I get older, what I'm really loving about going to my sister's is collard greens. I was actually thinking I should make them, but you know what? I like the way my sister make them. I should pay her to make me a giant ass thing of collard greens. One, collard greens is good for your energy, and but yeah, I don't want to be told what to do. Only the missus gets to tell me what to do. Exactly, as it should be. You go from your mom telling you what to do to your wife telling you what to do, right? And your bonus of it is getting to tell your daughters what to do. But trust me, they won't listen to you. So, but it's nice to. I totally feel you. My side dishes are turkey dressing and grilled Brussels sprouts and bacon bits. Wow, y'all are making me feel like I need to up my cooking game. I got all this cooking shit. That's another thing we're gonna be doing. I like to cook. I'm a fairly decent cook. Fairly decent cook. We're gonna move our thing when we move it to a phone or our iPad. We'll wander around the house, and it's gonna be awesome. We are gonna change the world with how we do things. Uh, yeah, Biz, y'all don't know, but Biz is an avid cook as well, right? He's always thanks, Biz. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Uh, Mad love for you, Biz. Next level up would be pellet smoker. Nice. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Um, I sort of want to apologize to what's his name about the incident with that. Uh, but you know what I'm talking about. I feel bad about it. But I was in a space and I didn't like the hearts. And we were talking about, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. I was wrong and I really tried to apologize, but I want to be able to thank you, Brian. I appreciate you. Uh I really want to apologize to him before I leave Habs. I feel like I did wrong while he was trying to do a righteous thing by me. Um, and thank you for pointing that out, Biz. I won't see him, but if you see him, Biz, could you pass that along? That I acknowledge my assholedom and all apologies, no caveats, full and sincere apologies with no stops. I was absolutely a dummy, and I apologize for it. So yeah, smoking grill. What we need is a giant day where we all stream and barbecue. Right? Wouldn't that be fucking awesome? Uh, but Biz has got all the good stuff. He's got like what is that thing? It's not a microwave, Biz. What is that thing that you had? A slow oven? What did you call it? It's not a toaster oven. Best pellet grills of 2021. Yeah, see, here's my thing about these grills. As someone who rents, I'm not buying barbecue grills or any of that shit until I actually get that house. As I sit here, I'm like, maybe I should buy a house. I mean, I never really wanted one. New York guy, right? But now I'm not a New York guy anymore, and I should fix my shit and adjust my philosophy and buy one of these lovely little houses down here. I'm a good gardener, right? And that's true. I am actually a really good gardener. And then I would have place to put all my marijuana plants. I'm sorry. I mean my legally authorized, prescribed number of actual legitimate marijuana plants, and not the other 10 or 15 I'm going to have in the house, because those aren't going to be there. Who said I had more plants in here than necessary, or than legally allowable? All right, nobody. Good, good. Just want to say. Um, ooh, what is this? Smoking on your smoker. Smoking on your smoker. He's out there with a picket fence. Look at how big that. Here's another thing. Um, I sort of slowed down my meat intake, right? I was doing a lot of. I moved away from beef a lot, and then I was doing a lot of chicken. Got tired of chicken. I'm not crazy about ham or lamb, and I like a steak occasionally. I was honestly thinking about becoming like a vegetarian. A lot more fruit. Maybe eat chicken occasionally. Maybe keep eggs because I'm not doing it for. I care about the chicken's reasons. Um, but I think if I start cooking again, there's ways to make those dishes interesting. Join us, Trey. Join the Brotherhood of Grillers. One of us. One of us. Absolutely. Um, yeah. So, ooh, it is 1:30. All right, we're gonna return you to your weekend. I have to actually get dressed. Now that I'm fully, well, I'm a little ashy. What is the weather outside? It feels windy all of a sudden. What's the weather outside?
It's currently cloudy and 57 degrees.
It's supposed to be 70 degrees today. Why is it only 57 degrees? And yeah, yeah, Wagyu, man, that stuff is awesome. It really, I mean, some things in the modern world get a lot of hype. That is not one of them. That is deserved. That is deserved. And you could make Wagyu beef here, but we have so much space, right? Well, I could make Wagyu beef. So if I bought a farm and I had cows, I would keep them in their pen, right? And feed them, what do they get fed? I think, is it grain? I think it is grain. But the problem why there's so much fat in the marbling of the meat is they don't go, like American cows walk down to Texas from Montana. So it's beef and it's rich and it's meat, and theirs, they just stay there. They get good and fat like chickens, right? Since Japan doesn't have a giant place to roam cows, they're boxed in. I would not want to see what the place looks like. But you know how to make Wagyu beef here in America. I don't see why people haven't taken up on it. If I had two nickels to rub together, I'd buy a farm, get cows, and just sit them there, get them good and fat, and then sell Wagyu beef to Americans, right? How much you need a small, not even a small, yeah, you get a semi-small farm, and you'd get about 1,000 cows, and start selling Wagyu beef to people, right? I mean, anything other than 1,000 is too small, um, unless you're making it for yourself. But yeah, Wagyu beef is a bomb. That shit melts on your tongue. It is pretty good. I actually have Wagyu beef in the fridge. Maybe I'll have that for Easter. Hello, wasn't 38 Studios mostly Schilling's own money? Really? You buy American Wagyu? I didn't even think there was American Wagyu. American Wagyu. Search. American Wagyu Association. There is an American Wagyu Beef Association. They probably did exactly what I said. Just stop having the cows walk around. Then they got all fat and delicious. Where's the Wikipedia for this though? Waggle, 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 waggle. Mash. The untold truth of Wagyu beef. Yeah, I hate to say it, but that shit is delicious. Uh, you can tell me before they kill the cow, they punch them all in the face. I'll be like, that's a shame. Are you gonna stop buying it? Probably not. Uh, Marble Ridge Specialty Farms. Order steak online. Oh, you can order it online. Even better. Yeah, Dinosaur. Of course, you can get everything online. You can order weed to your front door and women to your front door, right? It's everything people in the 70s wanted. And I say that half kidding, but yeah. Um, wow, in the modern era, you could easily be running a brothel with women coming over to bang the dude and bring whiskey, DoorDash some pussy, excuse my language, right? Uh, and the only way people find out is if you had a bad interaction, someone reported you. Right. DoorDash in like 2045 is gonna be I'm gonna get I'm gonna get the Wagyu beef and maybe oh look, maybe I have the Asian lady. You had the Asian lady come out with Wagyu beef the last time. You should get the Norwegian lady. Oh yeah, I get the Norwegian lady and can you bring up some chips? So she'll come through, not chips, weed. So she'll bring weed to you. She may not cook it, but I'm sure someone will have a she'll cook your dinner before she or he right? It's it's the ebb and flow of what we as citizens see is okay social behavior. I mean, look, now there's a thing called sex working, which I just used to call prostitution, which I can't call prostitution anymore. So you change the name to make it legitimate. But I maintain you don't tell your 12-year-old girls to go be sex workers. So it's not legitimate, right? What are you going to call the drug dealers? Street pharmacists? You don't tell your kids to go do that either. Uh Yeah, exactly. Bring me a Filipino gal and a Brazilian gal and some. We're gonna have an international night, right? We're gonna get some of that African bean sauce with that bean thing on it from Nigeria. Yeah, we get the food from Nigeria. Our girls from South and the North countries, and we want our weed from Afghanistan because the weed from Afghanistan I heard is awesome. I thought America had the best weed, but the weed from Afghanistan is pretty fucking ridiculous. And then they'll show up at your door. You put on your credit card. You can get spliffed and full, and that'll be it. Oh boy. All right, guys, that is it for us. We have been streaming for a little bit, about 10:30, 11:30, 12:30. It's 1:30. So we've been streaming for about 3. Our Sunday sessions run as long as we want, right? Especially on Easter Sunday. Let's all pray together. Lord, take care of everybody. The end. Amen. These things don't have to be long. They really don't. They just have to be sincere. And please take care of everybody. And thank you. Amen. I will see you guys in the next one. The next one is tomorrow, 6:30. Let's take our temperature again because it just went up a little bit. The next one is tomorrow. Ooh, the next one is come on. The next one is tomorrow at 6. Come on. At 6:30. 99.3. All right, my temperature is climbing. Um, maybe I should close all the windows. I'm gonna take some more Tylenol. That was the only thing I did yesterday I didn't do today. I took 2 Tylenols. Maybe that lowered my temperature. I'm gonna take 2 more Tylenol. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Save yes, snake. Wait, snake. Yeah, I've got all these links saved here in the chat, so I'm definitely gonna hit them up. But I'm gonna be cooking steak today because on holidays we all eat at my when it was we will all eat at one of the relatives' house. Uh, my brother puts on a spread, my sister puts on a spread. But now that there's COVID, us bachelors don't get a lot of good eats from family. So we gotta take them we gotta uh appreciate them when the opportunity arises and utilize those opportunities, which is what we're gonna do. So after I get out of here, I'm gonna take 2 Advil Sunday, September 17th. Woo. Not Tylenol rather, and I'm gonna put on some super warm clothes in this 80-degree day, 70-degree day. What's the temperature outside?
It's 57 degrees right now.
It said, okay, this thing said it's supposed to be 70 degrees. 52 is a low. Now it says it's supposed to be 61 degrees. I never dropped my phone. The last few months, I've been doing nothing but dropping my phone. Um, that's not good. All right, so let's close this. Wow, media guitar method. Award-winning guitar lesson software for learning acoustic and electric, created with University of Colorado Boulder's Kevin PhD. What's the rank? Sign up, open and Steam. Product refunded. It runs but gives a script error. Doesn't play sound or videos, and notes don't show properly. If there's no fix, I'll probably refund it. Refund it. Work until you install any other games through Steam. Then you get error 51 and have to delete and install both Steam and eMedia. Wow, you have to uninstall Steam, then reinstall, then something to do with Quick Media. Great software. I've learned a lot. Recommend to beginners and middle level guitarists. I would like to get eMedia violin. Huh. So this thing has 5 reviews. No, this thing has 4 reviews. 2 of them are bad. 430 products in account, 12 reviews. 31 products in account, 1 review. 30 products in account, 2 reviews. 3 products in account, 1 review. So the guy with 350, 430 games in his account and 12 reviews gave it negative and refunded it. And the other 2 people have a lot less. And they liked it. So yeah, I'm not trying to reinstall and uninstall Steam. Joe Biden's egg hunt. Don't even get me started. His poll number's at 33%. That's all I have to say. I just want to say I told people not to vote for him. This was a shit show. What the American media does is pick horses, right? They don't tell you the truth anymore. They were against Trump and for Biden, and they pushed that in their reporting. And Biden won, and now 33%. He was too old and feeble to do this thing, to do this job. He was too old and feeble to do it. And then they rigged it and, in my opinion, stole it as they've done before, right? Weird games with the elections, with politicians. So now I want to know what they're going to do because Trump is going to run again. Biden is at 33%. He's not going to recover. He's not going to win. So what are they going to do? They're going to go, Joe, just retire, man. One and done. Just out. Just out. Uh, and once he goes, I'm not doing it. Kamala Harris, that useless girlfriend of powerful men, is going to say she won it, and she's is going to lose, right? She's got no unique characteristic. No, I didn't see that coming. Wow, she's great. She's got none of those. None of those. Um, so if she goes, oh, I don't want to run, I wonder who they're going to have run, because the Democrats don't have a deep bench. 4 more years of Donald Trump, while Russia's being an asshole. Remember, Russia calmed itself, and so did North Korea. And now all of a sudden they're like, we'll do whatever we want. Oh, I think that once your poll ratings hit 30, 29, it should trigger a new election and you should be removed. Not just you and your vice president. You're a package team. And if you didn't remove the vice president, some vice presidents might be working to lower the president's average, right? So this way you sink or swim together. My dad told me regrets voting for Biden when for months I was giving him information on why Biden is a horrible idea. Yeah, yeah, I feel you. I was like, Ma, why you voting for this guy? He's been around for 50 years, cutting your throat. Why are you voting for him? Yeah, so I had this conversation with my parents too. Oh, but Donald Trump is crazy. Oh, he the racist, baby. Ma, you're from New York. You was in New York when he was in New York. I was like, what racism? What racism? Right? Don't get me wrong. I think Donald Trump is just as racist as all other rich white people who don't want poor brown, poor white people around them either, right? Poor anybody around them. But to say that, uh, yeah. And I think he's surrounded by idiots who tell him to lean to these groups that he's got no connection with. And those groups are racially problematic. And by racially problematic, I mean racist. Um, so I think that might be his issue. And I think he can win if he comes back and goes, we're going to do this again. And some of these people who are part of my system won't be part of my system. These January 6th people, right? My dad told me, okay, after what happened to Tulsi Gabbard, that should have been a huge red flag on why not to vote Democrat. Yeah, yeah, they're a cabal. They don't like uh, new people And mind you, they've got opposition research people. They'll put someone in your campaign to fuck it up. They'll put someone in just we work late, you touch me. What? She never worked all these kind of things. And just the hovering of you of that in the media air without any proof of it is enough for them. And they run on it. All right, so let me get out of here. It's a quarter to two. I have to get my. I gotta brush my teeth. I got up, took a shower, and ran in here. Didn't brush my teeth. I'm pretty sure y'all all can smell my breath. I would like to apologize. I'm gonna restart this thing. I'm gonna hop in, take a shit. No, I just took a shower, brush my teeth, and go and see what the day looks like. And besides, I have to call my mom. It's a holiday. You got call all the people you love, please. Call your mom and your dad if you're lucky enough to have them. Call your brothers and your sisters and your in-laws and the kids of those fantastic relationships, and give them crap. I do because I'm the crazy uncle, uh, and that's what we do. My sister has an IV of Democrat bullshit in her system. She's too far gone to be saved. You sound like you might have a little too much Republican bullshit in your system. And it's what the Democrats can be right sometime, man. Um, and the Republican, but the thing is, this perpetual warfare and name calling is the problem. I think we all agree Biden is not serious, right? But that doesn't mean the next Democrat will be not serious. Doesn't mean the one before him will be not serious, even though the one before him was not serious. Um, but there's a lot of fuckery going on. Like the governor of Florida is just, I don't even know what's going on there. Uh, so if I could offer any advice, the traps you want to avoid is you want to be loyal and have allegiance to your part of the team. But the trap you want to avoid is when people try and get you to hate other people on the other team for other reasons than no, for any reason. It's politics. You don't want to get it too loose. Oh, okay. All right, that's cool. I'm independent, not registered to either side. I'm more libertarian. Yeah, I think I've stopped being not officially, but I think essentially, not officially, but essentially, I've stopped being a Democrat. I'm tired of that bullshit. I'm for a lot of things the Republicans are for, but I'm not for the racism and the ass fuckery. Um, I'm for a lot of things the Democrats are for, but I'm not for the sexual politics and the racial politics and the bullshit of it. So, I mean, remember, I said on the first day, I'm doing this because the world's a shit show, and if I don't do this, I'm gonna go crazy. So, I put out my silly little opinion for all who will listen and who may go, oh, you're wrong here, or you might be right there, or I didn't think of it that way, or man, you are way off base, right? All of those are welcome here. What is not welcome here is bullshit, angry racist energy, angry sexist energy, that because man, and you've seen we've had people wander into the pod and we tell them no, we don't do that here, and then they never come back. Bye. You know, like I said, I got too many women in my family for you to be on my podcast insulting women. If you want to insult a woman, insult the one that you dated who did something to you. That's legitimate. But you know how bitches are. They all want money. Stop. I know a lot of women have more money than the guy that they're with. So, I think, it is what it is. But some of these things are exactly what they look like, right? And you're allowed to say that. But that when it's exactly what it looks like, you call out Kim Kardashian looks to be one of these, right? And that's a personal thing in the history of it. And you can go, okay, versus all women, versus all white guys, versus all, whatever you have. Now I know where you're going, and I'm not party to it. And if I was be party to it, I'd be party to it for a couple of years on a giant network to make a couple of $1 million, and then I'd set up all the shit that I want to set up, and then denounce it. No, I wouldn't. I couldn't do that to my. Ugh, I really wish I didn't believe as hard as I believe in some of the shit that I believe in. All right, that's it. Officially ending the pod. It's it's 2:46. I want to thank you. Come by tomorrow. You know how we do. We end the pod like 9 times. It's part of the ritual. Come back tomorrow. Um, and we'll have a new round of things to talk about in our sphere. Maybe we'll solve some problems, right? It's happened a couple of times on this pod where I was like, huh, I didn't realize, and totally changed my mind. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, your homie True, says peace to you and yours on this Easter Sunday. I hope you're strong. I hope you get some good things this week, right? And yeah, be strong. All right, we'll see you later. Thanks, Brian. Adios, amigo. Uh, be easy, William. My man Ted, I got love for you. You know that. And we will see all of you